Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And obviously, we've already got Friday happy hour started a little bit early. Today's date is April 18th, and this is the final live show before Easter weekend. If you want to get those questions, comments up on the show, hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. And it's Friday. Raider Ron wanted a special deal today, so I'm going to give Raider Ron a special deal today. $50 beer bong bang. So if you send in a 50, it's not an alley-oop. It's a flippin' bang today. You do a normal bang, we're going to count it as two. I am only going to do one beer, though, or else you guys are going to absolutely kill me if you do send in a hundo. Huge shout out to everybody pulled up today. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about actually on today's show. The very first thing we're going to discuss, some interesting Raiders trade rumors. We're going to talk about Kolton Miller. We're going to talk about Michael Mayer. It's why I'm rocking the shirt today. Find out what the latest is on Mayer from NFL insider Aaron Wilson. Also, some big NFL draft news that happened today, which we'll take a little bit of a deep dive into. My question to you out there is this. Do you want the Raiders to extend Kolton Miller, type E for extend, type T for trade? We talked about it yesterday when Chuggs and I were live for our NFL draft, mock draft, whole chat sports shenanigans show we did yesterday. Huge shout out to everybody that tuned in for that. We were the number one most watched channel here, I guess I would say, at Chat Sports. We finished number one, so appreciate, Gilbert Moreno, Raider Ron, all the OGs that showed up today. But the reason why I'm asking this question right here is because John Spytek didn't really answer it, and quite frankly, I am not upset that he didn't answer it. If I was the Raiders, I would want everybody wondering what I was doing going into the NFL draft. It gives you more firepower. But if I was the Raiders and I go, I'm not going to extend Kolton Miller. I'm telling you right now, if you don't extend Kolton Miller will not be on the Raiders in 2025. So if you're out there and you're going, I don't want to extend him, that's okay. That's your call. But I'm also telling you, by you saying you're not extending him means that you will end up trading him. And if you end up trading him, I don't think that you're going to get the value quite that you would usually get, because this trade to me would end up happening after the NFL draft. So E for extend, T for trade. I see basically all E's down below. This is like a party that I should not have gone to in college. But hey, it's Friday happy hour. There's E flowing everywhere. I see Seth, Raphael, Maniac Moose, Robert Choin, Michael Font, all spamming those E's.
I think that's the drug in 21 Jump Street when they're like, oh yeah, you got any E on you?
I forget what that drug was from 21 Jump Street. All I remember is the poop symbol. There's a poop symbol. They take it, and then it's just ice cream cones, shit melting, and they're just licking everything. How much to do that? No, I'm just kidding. That's never going to happen.
Great movie.
Low-key, one of my favorite movies.
Over there finger popping each other's asshole.
I'm not proud how often I say that. Where if you've never seen that movie and you were to randomly hear some other grown man, adult go, we're just over here finger popping each other's assholes. You'd be like, I don't know why I'm watching this show. And I definitely don't want to be sitting next to that guy, especially if we're at an NBA playoff game. So if you got somebody trying to finger pop, I'm not even going to do it. Huge shout out to today's sponsor, Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Chat Sports and the Raiders Report, the number one place to get your tickets for any type of sporting event. I have been using Game Time for a while, so is Chuggs, and if you're trying to get the lowest price guarantee, Game Time is where it's at. I've used Game Time many times over the past few years for NBA games, MLB games. Heck, we also were able to go watch the Drake concert down here in Dallas. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater. Game Time Picks makes last-minute ticket buying easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. Create an account, redeem code ChatSports, that's ChatSports for $20 off. Download Game Time today, and if you're wondering what time is it, it's game time. So they are going to be the sponsor here on today's show, but you know what else? I'm also trying to get a little bit wet and wild because it is Raiders Friday happy hour. And if you want to know what the deals are today, every 100 likes, I'm just going to call it Kolton Miller time, okay? Y'all will see what I'm talking about here. Every $20 Venmo that we end up getting is going to be a duck race. And y'all need to start throwing some L's at Chuggs because this is a rough start here for Friday happy hour. $50 beer bong bangs. If you send in a 50, we're throwing one back. And the only way Raiders Friday happy hour works is if somebody spends $50 of their hard-earned money, I hope that at least 1% of the audience watching right now cracks one open with us, does a nice little cheers with everyone, and when I take it down, I hope that y'all try to take it down and keep up with me here. Huge shout out to everybody here in the building. We already got 400 people watching the show. We are 13 likes away from a little Kolton Miller time, and you're not going to understand the deal until we get to 100 likes, and maybe it's a good deal for some. Maybe it's not, but I get called a certain name because I drink Happy Dads a lot, and that's all I'm going to tell you right now. We got a super chat coming in here on today's show, and a reminder, you want to get those questions, it's hashtag Raiders. If you want to skip the line, get in the very front like Cassidy Gates did, you send in a super chat, and all I ask is just ask me a question. Draft, free agency, trade, try to make me laugh. I don't care, it's Friday. We got an Easter weekend coming up. Let's have a good time. Mitch, been MIA. It's all good. I'm graduating at the University of... Is that Utah? U of U? I mean, I know the U. If you're at the U of U, is that University of Utah? That would be my guess.
I mean, he did say he's been MIA, Miami.
The U of U. All right. See, now there's a lot of stuff going on here.
Oh, Utah. He said Utah.
Okay, that makes more sense. Landed an internship working for the SLCBs as the visiting team attendant. Hope we draft Genty. I mean, congratulations, and I would say this to anybody that's trying to, get into sports or get into any career, never say no. That's my biggest tip to anybody out there. Always say yes. If somebody wants you to join a show and you're younger, and freaking find a way to do it, find some free time. Always say yes. Always put your name out there. Network. No. You got to go out there and you got to network. What?
Not cool.
Oh, I was like, what? What happened? I didn't know what happened.
He's him. You got to chill out, bro.
Yeah, I didn't see what it was, but we're not going to entertain that type of shit, man. Let's just be normal human beings here. That's all I ask. Let's just try to be normal human beings. Cassidy, though, congratulations. Keep on grinding. Keep doing your thing. Good things are going to happen. Just keep doing your thing, man. Super chat from Isaiah Para. Thank you for supporting the show. If you want to get a question in, don't be afraid to get that bad boy in. I see Rebel Montana here in the building. Appreciate you tuning in. One of the other segments I'm going to be doing on the Raiders Report today is going to be around some trade candidates. And anytime the NFL draft ends up happening, I do think that we get to a point where you talk so much about the draft. And I can't wait for the draft. And if you're excited for the draft, spam me down below. But you do get to a point where you're like, all right, man, I don't know how much more I can talk about the draft. I just want it to happen already. So one of the things we're going to be talking about today is some trade candidates, because with all the news, with all the rumors that's been coming around with some of the Raiders, potential draft targets, there's also an indication that maybe certain current players on this Raiders team could end up getting the boot and could end up getting traded. My question to you is this: which Raiders player is the most likely to be traded during the NFL draft? One of the segments coming up here on today's show is going to be me breaking down who I think the top candidates are that the Raiders could draft either from like now until the draft or literally on draft night. I also have different trades that I could end up costing for all the players that I end up breaking down. If you also haven't yet voted at the live poll, I would appreciate it if you did. It's always cool to see what you guys are thinking and what the entire nation is trying to wrap their mind around. So what do we got here? Juan Hernandez is going to go with Aidan O'Connell. I think that's going to be a common choice, though.
Yeah.
I actually don't know if it's the most likely to happen, in all honesty. I don't know if it's the most likely to happen. Like, I can make an argument that maybe like a lower level guy like a Thayer Munford could be an intriguing player just because I don't really see the use that he's going to have. Maybe a linebacker along the lines of an Amari Burney, maybe somebody that was drafted last year, maybe like a DeCamerion Richardson. A Trey Taylor could be somebody maybe to keep in mind. B.A. Marcus Frey says Mayer, but the way you spelled it, it's in between Mayer as in Michael Mayer and Jakobi Meyers, so I don't know which one you mean. Big Luck says I do not want Jalen Milroe. Well, then, I'm not going to get Milroe. Raider Prime says Kolton Miller. Jonathan Smith, Jersey Boy, I hear that pick is a bust. Isaiah, thank you again. Jersey Boy, with the 6th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Raiders report select a Diet Dr. Pepper. This is an ultimate troll job, and I am happy that you follow Chat Sports social media. That really honestly warms my heart. But I can promise you this, we were not the ones that did it. At least I know I didn't do it. I also wasn't at the office.
Why are you saying, at least we didn't do it?
We did not do it.
Why'd you have to add the caveat? Well, at least I know I
didn't do it.
Yeah.
I know I didn't do it.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't here when the whole Diet Dr. Pepper Chat Sports dilemma ended up going down. It was literally a bust. That's a good one. If you guys don't know what Jersey Boy here is talking about, go follow Chat Sports on social media. We've been pumping out a lot of different types of content. Like, if you want to get to know more of us, like, behind the scenes and what the work environment is like here at Chat Sports, give us a follow over at Chat Sports, Instagram, Twitter, at Chat Sports. But there is if you want to play Sherlock Holmes and guess who left the Dr. Pepper in the freezer and allowed it to explode everywhere, go check it out, because it's under investigation.
I might have had the only non-TJ answer to that, too. I said it was Harrison.
So I just saw something came in on Greg Popovich. It said, Greg Popovich was taken to the hospital Tuesday night after fainting in a San Antonio restaurant. TMZ reports he was stretchered out and may still be feeling effects from a mild stroke suffered in November.
Oh, wow.
Greg Popovich.
Rebel. No meat Mitch. Today is Good Friday. Make Alex happy.
I'm going to be honest. I already crushed some garlic chicken.
Oh.
Crushed it. I don't want to say like I don't do that kind of stuff, but I don't really participate in that kind of stuff. Though I got to give Chuggs credit. He has not eaten bread for basically a whole week, right?
Mm-hmm.
I tried to give him a chip the other day, and you would have thought I was giving him poison.
Oh, well, no. Y'all know Cullen very well, the tank. Absolutely worst timing today. Came in with donuts.
Oh.
And I was like, bro.
They were so good.
I was like, dude, that smells fantastic right now.
They were so effing good.
You know who else is so effing good?
Raider!
Run! Bang!
Fill me up, Buttercup. Raider Ron, first bang of the day, man. First bang of the day, man. You can't do a Raiders Friday happy hour without somebody trying to get the party started. If you don't spam RR down below, shit, I got it freaking tatted on my leg. Let's see if I can get it up there. You can kind of see it. Shout out to Raider Ron. Give me some RRs down below.
Happy Friday, all. Mitch, you're going to talk about the Raiders press conference earlier today. Spytek and Carroll spoke about the draft. Cheers again, all. Raider Ron, so glad to have you back. So glad to have you in here in our live show today, even though the Warriors are going to get absolutely spanked by the Rockets, Raider Ron. Get ready. Rockets in 4. I don't care if it's Steph, bad breath. I don't care what it is. Rockets in 5. Rockets in 5, Ron.
Oh, man, I see Bounce, Day-Day, Patrick, James, Butts, Buzz-O-Matic. Oh, dude, shout out. Though I think I saw that the Warriors are favorites.
That's where we want to be. That's where we want to be. We want to be everybody doubting us.
A 7 seed being a favorite over a 2 seed.
Everybody doubts us. Everybody's doubting us. Exactly where we want to be.
Who do you guys think wins that series? If you think it's the Warriors, give me a W.
It's the Rockets.
If you think it's the Rockets, type R.
H-Town, hold it down.
Ron's about to change his name to Wade One, just for the W, so he doesn't have to see the R's for Rockets. Though Wade One might not be the only time that he's ever been called that. There might be somebody that also calls him Wade One.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Raider Ron, we will talk a little bit here about
Taino knows what's up.
Lakers just signed Rob Pelinka to a contract extension. It's probably because he just absolutely fleeced Nico Harrison and the Mavs. I'll say this. We will talk about, from time to time. I don't really have a segment around the Pete Carroll John Spytek press conference today because they didn't really say much, and I'm okay with that. Like, usually when I see a press conference, I want the tea. I want them to spill the tea. A week before the NFL draft, I don't want them saying anything. And every time John Spytek got asked the question today, I mean, you want to talk about tiptoeing around the line? I thought he tiptoed around the line pretty well. I would say the most interesting things that Spytek did say was that he's surprised that he literally says we, as the NFL, doesn't value running backs maybe as much, said that he was like a Michigan guy, and it's like to his core that he believes in running the football, which he's used that jargon before, like to my core, around offensive linemen. So, you could look at that as, oh, we're going to go Genty, or, oh, like he's just talking about they want a running back, which we obviously know that they want a running back. Pete Carroll said that he drinks or something about Mountain Dew, and the first thing that I thought of was like, oh, man, I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. One of my other favorite, like just hearing Spytek and Carroll talk, they work so well together where they kind of just bounce off of each other very easily. Spytek, is, I would say, like the lot more like serious one. And then, Pete's the older man who's kind of just I think he's living his best years of his life right now. I love that both Pete and Spytek had some Raiders gear on. But overall, and again, like I listened to the entire press conference. I didn't get too many takeaways from it, but that's a good thing to me. You don't want to tip your hand in any way, shape, or form leading up into the NFL draft. And that's also how I would say, he was asked about the Kolton Miller extension talks. And Spytek was smart to answer it the way that he did because you don't want to tip your cap in any way. If you give Kolton Miller a contract extension, but you do actually want to end up trading back, Spytek did say nobody's called in terms of trying to trade up. But if you are trying to trade back, I wouldn't give Miller a contract extension. I would have teams believe that I am going to take a Armin Membu, a Will Campbell, because quarterbacks are going to slide in this year's draft, which means offensive tackles could go up, and that could be the position where ultimately, a team tries to trade up for an offensive tackle at 6 ahead of the New York Jets. Let's go to Para. My first super chat, and I fumbled it.
Hey, the Dylan Laube of super chats.
Oh, boy. I was wondering your thoughts. That's brutal, dude. Well, technically not because he got the second one right. I'm pretty sure Laube's first 2 touches in the NFL were fumbles, and I hate ripping on Laube because he's such a good dude, and I know he's such a good guy. But, bro, that was brutal. I was wondering your thoughts on the Bleacher Report mock draft of the Raiders trading 6 back for Swift and the 10 to the Bears. I mean, if you told me if the trade is DeAndre Swift and we get 10 and the Bears get 6, I mean, that's garbage. I mean, that's worse than the Bleacher Report website right now. You know what I mean? Like, if we ended up going from 6 all the way back to 10 and DeAndre Swift was in the equation, like I would still want a 3rd-round pick, and I honestly probably would want like a 5th-round pick on top of that because I don't think that you would get the Bears second if you're also getting Swift. But I'm also like not that crazy about DeAndre Swift. Yeah. I think he's a little bit overrated. Let's go to Flexco 818.
He's him. For some reason, I can't pull your super. If you want to try sending it in again, maybe I can try to pull it, but it won't let me pull your supers up. So if you want to try to send another one in, maybe that one's just not working.
What is he doing?
I don't. It's just not. He's him. If you want to send in another super chat to see if it's working, it's just not pulling for me. I don't know why.
Yeah, dude. I don't really know, man.
But here we'll go to Flacco for right now.
Let's go. Flacco. I'm getting wrecked tonight when I get home. Pause. I guess who's doing the wrecking? It's Friday happy hour after all. I mean, everybody, if you are participating in Raiders Friday happy hour, Raider Ron's already had 1 put down today.
Yeah,
so that means you better have 1 put down.
Jonathan said it usually happens when you try to send in a 2 and it doesn't work. If you want to try sending in a bigger super chat, usually those
maybe, honestly, I bet if you send in 100 or a 500, it probably would work then.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's probably what I would say.
I don't know, man.
Let's go to the next one. I think we are all caught up now.
But we do need
some
hashtag Raiders.
We do need some hashtag Raiders. The final segment coming up on today's show is going to be a Raiders Report mailbag. And I want, again, questions around the draft. I want questions around trades. I don't really want any questions around free agency because, not that I don't care about it, but at this point, all we care about is the draft and trade.
Is this the first time in the past month we've had Zahn and Ron together?
Oh, boy.
The Bash Brothers.
The Bash Brothers
The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town.
You know what? If we get to 200 likes, I'll be able to tell you finally what the Kolton Miller deal is. We got to 100 before, and it didn't make any sense. So now we are 30 likes away from getting to 200 likes, and here's going to be my deal. Mainly, I'll be real, Nabman used to give me a lot of shit for it. Zahn always gave me shit for it. Probably still does behind my back, but that's what friends are for. ripping on me for drinking Happy Dads. Miller time is this. Every time we get to 200 likes, right, or 300 likes, 400 likes today, 500 likes today, we're going to do a tuna clock, and it is going to be 60 seconds on the clock, and every 50, tuna clock style, that we get in that 60 seconds, I will drink actual beer instead of Happy Dads today, okay? We're going to do Miller time with all the Kolton Miller extension rumors and all the Kolton Miller trade rumors going on right now.
Zon,
I said I had to do it. What?
Zon said I'm jumping in the shower, but I'm still listening.
Oh, yeah.
Zon, let us know when you're washing your back.
Yeah. Zon's like, oh, crap, I keep dropping my body wash in here. Actually, I'll be real. Might have been a weird statement. Zon definitely uses soap. Like, do you use a bar of soap? I don't think I can't even tell you the last time I used a bar of soap.
I have a bar of soap.
Zon's a bar of soap guy.
I have a bar of soap, but it's for, like, emergency purposes. If I don't realize that I'm running out of soap and I run out and I'm like, oh, shit.
Okay.
Like, it's just like I have one bar of Irish Spring underneath my sink.
Instead of a fire extinguisher in Jeremy's house, he just breaks the glass for Irish Spring. Just get me in there. I mean, you never know when you're going to need it, I guess. Break glass in case of smell. Today's deals are as follows. We got 500 people here in the building. I see Alex L. What's up? What's up? Michael Font, appreciate you tuning in. Raider Nation 88 says Zon uses Mando. I like to think Zon uses Mando.
I've been with him before. Smelling his grundle. I don't know if he uses Mando yet.
I don't know what's worse. The fact that Zon's not using Mando on his grundle, or the fact that you know what Zon's grundle smells like.
I mean,
it's just as soon as you walk by, you're like, not Mando. It's clearly not Mando down there.
That grundle.
That's a level.
That grundle's a telltale sign.
A telltale sign. We did just hit 200 likes, so here we go. 60 seconds on the clock. It's Miller time. I am a little bit nervous because these are, I don't know if you guys can tell how cold they are. The condensation coming down the can here a little bit, so yesterday I went to the Angels baseball game down here. I don't know if we got any Angels fans. My buddy, he invited me because he told me that his friend that he grew up with is now the setup guy for the Angels, and I don't remember what his name was. It was a long last name. Long last name. He gave up a dinger, though, to Corey Seager. Did strike out the next three guys. But, I mean, when you're throwing 99, that's got to be an unbelievable feeling. I say this because watching a baseball game, enjoying a beer, I don't know if there's anything better. A nice cold beer, watching a game, phenomenal. Like, now again, I don't usually drink like these types of beers. I don't even drink Happy Dads anymore outside of work because it literally tastes like work to me at this point. I was drinking Mango Cart, watching some baseball games yesterday. Great time. Great time.
Oh, yeah.
We got about 20 seconds left here. I might be able to get out scot-free.
$50 Miller Lite bangs.
It's going to be gross.
Oh, Drew Himalayan says, would you ever do the 999 challenge?
What the hell's that?
So it's you go to a baseball game, 9 innings. By the end of each inning, you have to finish a beer and a hot dog.
No.
So every inning is one beer and one hot dog.
We'll never do it. I don't like hot dogs.
Would you do it with a different...
What would be the equivalent to a hot dog? Is a burger?
That's a lot of burgers.
Bro, I mean, I think one of my favorite parts, though, about going to a baseball game is just, I think it's relaxing. I love the relaxing part of just being able to sit back, have a conversation with, like, your friends, watch the game, have a beer or two.
Jansen said that's like $500.
At some stadiums, yeah. I mean, yesterday, the beers I was drinking, they were $12 a pop. And burgers were probably $10 a piece.
So $90, a little over $100. Yeah, you're spending like $200-something bucks on some food.
You're spending $250 to hopefully not shit yourself at a baseball stadium. Yeah. I mean, I went into the bathroom by the 7th inning stretch. There's not a chance in hell I'm trying to go in one of those toilets.
Frank, using measurable, what makes Ginty way better than Bayshul Tutton? Tootin certainly needs to stop fumbling, but I take him late before Ginty early. I totally disagree. If you're talking about measurables, you're talking about one guy who is breaking tackles over and over again and who is able to run through defenders, run through the tackles. Tootin doesn't give you that. He's a small speed back.
See, I think the problem is you're using measurables, where I think the only measurable that says Tootin is better than Genty is the 40 time.
Yeah.
Right? And we've also seen a lot of times in the NFL, just because you run really fast, straight line doesn't always make you the fastest player. I mean, I can actually remember Bo Jackson used to talk about how he felt like he was just so much faster because he could run in pads better than some other guys could run in pads. I don't give a shit about how fast you run a 40. What makes Genty incredible is he's just so balanced. He can bounce off tackles. He's strong. He's got home run speed. He just does everything really flipping well. And I know there's some people out there, he don't catch the football. He was able to catch the football in 2023. If I was a college football team and I saw Ashton Genty's averaging 7.0 yards per carry, and he's actually averaging less yards per reception, I'm probably just going to keep running down your mother effing throat over and over and over again with Ashton Genty. So, comparing the two would be why don't people, this would be like you ask me, use measurables. Why is Patrick Mahomes compared to Derek Carr? I mean, I don't even think it's that. I think it's Patrick Mahomes versus who's a really athletic quarterback.
Aidan O'Connell.
Really athletic quarterback. Let's go back a little bit more. That's like you saying Anthony Richardson is better than Patrick Mahomes because Anthony Richardson's a better athlete than Mahomes is, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's go to Patrick Roche. What up, man? I think Hondo is full of crap by asking Spytek and Carroll where they are focusing in on the draft as far as positions.
I will say, shout out to him for asking a real question, because the thing that me and Mitch get most upset about, and I know you more than me, is when you see these guys who go to these interviews at Allegiant Stadium.
And those are just the most worthless questions out there.
They're like, hey, are you excited for this year? Well, no shit, yeah. I mean, if they said no, then they probably wouldn't be there.
Right? And again, I don't know who's the person that asked the food and drink question. Now, if they get multiple questions, I'm okay with it, right? We ask you guys food, drink stuff all the time because we're sitting down for hours, right? Hours upon hours. If you told me you get one question and one question only to ask John Spytek and Pete Carroll, and you come up with, what do you guys like to eat and drink on draft day? I don't know why you're in that room. I mean that in the most respectful way possible. But I like when questions are put out there, and I know that Spytek and those guys aren't going to answer it, but I respect Hondo asking those questions.
Yeah.
I also do think, though, that Hondo a lot of times is, as you say, full of crap.
And him, like I said, I'm just having trouble pulling your supers, man. The $2 ones aren't working. Maybe if you want to send a 5 or a 10, him, it's just your super chats are not working right now.
Honestly, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It pops up for literally a second, and then it goes away.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, him. If you want to try it again, though, let me know. Here's what's coming up on the program today. We're going to get into our first segment, Raiders trade rumors, then some trade candidates, and then a mailbag.
Somebody said he's high. That was funny. Appreciate everyone again tuning in. What up, Lil Flapjack? What's up, Mitch and Chuggs? Happy Friday. Bye.
Bye!
So far today, Raider Ron's the only one taking advantage of the $50 bang.
Oh, yeah, he wants to take advantage.
Though, should we do a duck race today? It's Friday. I really didn't even plan on doing one. Oh, yeah, we did. We did. I think we're doing a duck race today. Let's do a duck race today. 20 to get in. $20 Venmo to get in today for a chance to win a little bit of money. You know what? You want in? we're going to get in. Right, you guys got to try to take down Chuggs and I today. Let me see. Yeah.
Mama say, mama sa, mama sa.
I'm not gonna lie, we already got quite a few people in the duck race. This is rather embarrassing, I would say, on my part. All right, so here are the people that are in our duck race. Right from the jump, Mitchell Renz in the duck race. Jeremy Chuggs in the duck race. I'm gonna go Philip Bogert, duck race. I see Rustin Long, duck race. I see Soulja Man, duck race. though I don't know why it ended up doing that. Hang on. Oh, boy, Mitch, you're falling off. 20 right now to get for a chance to win $50 here on the show. I do actually, though, have to send you something here, Mr. Beads. Mr. Beads. We got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. Though, when is the timestamp on this bad boy? Ooh, boy, I don't know. It's close. It's close.
I think it might be Miller time.
I think it, honestly, it was 6 minutes ago. We're going to count it. Miller time, Patrick Rose.
Bang!
Get out, ball. Get the F out, ball. Miller time. I don't know. Miller, ice cold Miller Lite is the only way I'd be able to drink this beer.
Yeah.
Like, what's your favorite generic beer?
Michelob.
Michelob?
Like, if I'm going to just,
generic beer. You know what I mean? Like, that's a generic beer.
Like, if I'm going a light beer, I usually go Michelob. If I'm just having a normal beer, I like a Dos Equis dressed with a little salt and lime.
I mean, I was gonna say, if Dos Equis fits into that category, it's probably Dos Equis for me.
Mango carts are good, but, like, whenever I start drinking IPAs, they're just so heavy.
See, I don't consider Mango Cart, I guess, like a Miller Lite. My favorite beer, Mango Cart.
It's an IPA.
Is it?
Pretty sure.
I don't think it's an IPA at all. I mean,
craft wheat ale made with real
I was
mango.
say it's a wheat beer. So like a Blue Moon is like a style of beer is called a Hefeweizen, which wheat is Hefe in German is how I know that. So Hefeweizen, I actually never had a Hefeweizen beer, a wheat beer, until I went to Germany, learned that word, and then I came back to the States and I was like, dude, I love these type of beers. Like Blue Moon, Mango Cart, those are my favorite beers. Like, in all honesty, those are my favorite beers. Though I'm not going to drink those on this show just because you put down a few of them and you get full real quick. But Rebel, Mango Cart. Rebel, next time you and I are in person, Mango Cart boot race. Are you in? I don't know. Are you in? Pair it best with a hot dog. I don't like hot dogs. Though, they have, I was tempted to get that burrito that you were talking about.
Boomstick?
The giant burrito. They also had lobster mac and cheese.
Did you get it?
I didn't eat anything I only drank beer yesterday. I was like, if I'm going to drink beers, which, again, that's what I like to do. I like Cracker Jacks. I didn't get any of that. I literally just drank Mango Carts.
Jersey boy, you must have been watching our live mock yesterday because this is the question of the day. This was the question of yesterday because the live audience went with Ginty and Mitch followed it up with Tyler Booker. But you could have easily had Armin Mimbu and paired him with Travion Henderson. So the question remains, out of these two scenarios, which do y'all think is better? Getting Ginty and then Booker, or they're getting Mimbu and Henderson? Let me know down in the comment section. Type 1 for Mimbu and Henderson. Type 2 for Ginty and Booker. 1 for Mimbu Henderson. 2 for Ginty and Booker.
I could literally do an entire show on why Mimbu and Henderson is the better way to go. I could also make an entire show on why Ginty and Booker would be the better way to go.
Oh, let's see.
It's a great question.
We got Red Eye Nation, Micah, Michael, TJ, Terrence. They're all going 2. JP, Low Life Rev, they're all going 2 for Ginty and Booker. Then we have Salvador Vargas, John Fallon, Miguel Gomez, Robert Jansen, Miguel Gomez, Fly Guy, Garbage Truck God. They're all going 1 for Mimbu and Henderson. So a little bit of an even split here, Mitch. A little bit of an even split.
So I was just copying Reed. He's been out there stretching for at least 60 seconds. Reed, you look thirsty. Let's go to Curtis Bishop next up here. If we get Ramsey, do you think that we can extend Miller? I don't think that either of these have any impact on each other. I still think that Kolton Miller is going to end up getting this deal done. And I think people also got to realize what I do a lot of the times is I put out a tweet the other day of saying if Kolton Miller and Jalen Ramsey were to be involved together in a trade, this is how I would think it would end up looking. that doesn't mean that I want to trade away Kolton Miller for Jalen Ramsey. I think people sometimes got to understand, like, what we do here is we do try to make content. I'm not somebody where I'm just going to put content out there because I want clicks. Like, that shit actually does bother me, which might surprise some people out there, but I'm always going to give my opinion because my opinion is what people, I think, want to know from me from this show. But at the same time, like, if the Raiders go out and they get Jalen Ramsey, it's a one-year deal, and that's what really it is. It is a one-year deal at $21.1 million because those other 3 years are $0 million guaranteed. But I still think that a Kolton Miller extension ends up happening. I talked to Miller yesterday.
I can't have Mexican food because I had cereal this morning.
Like, actually, that could make sense. You got milk in your stomach. I'm not putting Mexican food on top of milk. That's you having an appointment on 2 multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple times. But they both don't impact each other. We have plenty of salary cap to go out and trade for Jalen Ramsey, plenty of salary cap to give Miller a contract extension, plenty of money to give Jakobi Meyers a contract extension, plenty of money to also pay our draft picks. Like, the Raiders aren't hurting money-wise, which, again, is going to be one of the stories that we talk about here on today's show. And you know what? Speaking of it, I say we get into the very first segment on the Raiders Report today. I do have a few more people that looks like that they are getting in the duck race, which, again, right now, Raider Ron and Patrick Roche have gotten the party started. They each have 1 bang on today's episode, which actually puts Ron at 5 bangs for the month of April, second place behind only Josh I. Patrick Roche also bumps his bang total up to 2 as well. Speaking of Ron, though, we got some more people getting in this duck race. I see Norman Hernandez. What up, Norman? I got you. LA Crash Dog in the building.
Raider Nation says Mexican and cereal together equals use Mando.
Ron Stanley. A lot of Mando. You quite frank, I don't know if there's enough Mando in the world. You'd have to use it in way more stinky crevices to be able to take care of it.
Him, I'm sorry. None of your supers are pulling because they're only $2. So
I think, honestly, you'd have to send in 100 for it to work.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens. I bet you if you sent in 100, it would stay.
Yeah. You know what? Me and Mitch would both drink a beer for you if you send in 100.
Yeah.
We'll do that just for you, him. We don't usually do that for everybody.
Correct.
But for you, we will.
I actually don't think I've ever drank a beer for anybody on this show.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a first. It'd be a first here.
Crazy.
Set a record. Do something wild. Speaking of doing something wild, we're going to talk about some trade rumors around Kolton Miller and this guy right here, Michael Mayer, coming up on today's show. After that, we're going to talk about some more trade candidates that I think could be traded before the NFL draft. Raiders Report Mailbag. It's Friday happy hour here on the Raiders Report. $50 bangs until we say goodbye. You ready? Y'all ready? Coming up, let's go. Let's talk about the latest around the silver and black. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and coming up on today's show, Kolton Miller. Is he going to be traded, or is he going to get a contract extension? We're going to talk about the latest around the Raiders left tackle. Then, NFL insider Aaron Wilson talked about Michael Mayer in an interview with Jeremy Chuggs. You got to find out what he said. Then at the very end of today's show, massive NFL news on the 2025 NFL Draft. If anybody wants to know something about quarterbacks, you got to watch the end of today's show. Appreciate everyone tuning in. We are live right now, and if you don't know, we like to do Raiders Friday happy hour from time to time, and appreciate everyone that always pulls up to the stream. Make sure you're subbed. Make sure those notifications are turned on. Let's go to the very first story here. I want to be able to whip out some of the just win babies. Haven't done it in a little bit. Are the Las Vegas Raiders going to be trading Kolton Miller this offseason? I am going to give this one only one just win, baby. Pump the brakes. I am confidently going to sit up here and say I do not think that the Raiders end up trading Kolton Miller, but to say that it is a 0% chance, I actually don't think is very accurate. I would sit up here and say there's probably a 5% chance that the Raiders trade Miller. There is just as much of a chance that the Raiders draft Shedeur Sanders at 6 is that the Raiders end up trading Kolton Miller by the draft. Vincent Bonsignore, Raiders beat writer, kind of insinuated over the past 24 hours that the Raiders could potentially move on from Miller. And then today, when John Spytek was asked about the Kolton Miller extension rumors, Spytek shot him down very quickly and was like, we're just not going to talk about that kind of stuff. And in my personal opinion, I'm happy that he said that. If I'm the Las Vegas Raiders, I don't want to say anything about anything leading up until the NFL draft because I don't want people to know what I'm thinking or how I might be thinking about what I'm going to do for the draft. I do know this. It's not a secret, and it hasn't been a secret, that Miller's been looking for a new contract this offseason, and here's the truth. Like, Miller was looking for a contract last offseason. He had $0 million guaranteed on the final 2 years of his deal, so this has been going on. Now, he didn't get that deal last offseason because he was dealing with that shoulder injury, and he didn't probably feel like that he was in a position to really, ask for it, negotiate it, and now he feels like he has that opportunity to do it. But here's what Vincent Bonsignore had to say about some potential trade rumors around number 74. This is the second straight year that he's gone into a season with a non-guaranteed salary. I have been told that he probably would have done this last year as well, but he was rehabbing this time last year, so it was kind of a moot point. He wasn't even able to get onto the field during OTAs, the workouts, otherwise. That aside, is it a concern? I think there is a little bit of a concern that there's the potential his days here being on an expiration date. Let's put it that way. I know what Vinny is saying, and he's kind of insinuating that because conversations haven't really started yet, that Miller might be on the way out. But I really just think it's the Raiders are just focusing on the NFL draft, and they're going to worry about Kolton Miller and Jakobi Meyers after the draft because they know at the end of the day that it's going to get done. Continuing here with Bonsignore on Kolton Miller, it was made very clear to me yesterday that no contract talks have begun. That doesn't mean contract talks can't begin or won't begin, but they haven't begun. And that's a little bit conspicuous and maybe telling. It could be telling. People that I've talked to in the NFL say, look, the Raiders have a lot of cap space, and the fact that contract talks haven't started yet, what does that tell you about they may be thinking about Kolton Miller moving forward? I'll say this. Kolton Miller was a priority for the previous regime. He was somebody that, if you're talking about a to-do list for this offseason, Kolton Miller would have been somebody that they wanted to get extended. But those decision makers aren't even in the building anymore, so it's no longer what the organization 6 months ago thought. It's what the organization now thinks. So hearing everything that Vincent Bonsignore just said, this is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. I want you to type K for keep or T for trade. What would you do if you're John Spytek and Pete Carroll? Do you want the Raiders to trade Kolton Miller? Because I'm telling you this, if you're not willing to give him a contract extension, there is a 100% chance that Kolton Miller will be traded by the Las Vegas Raiders because he wants a new deal, and quite frankly, he deserves a new deal. So go down to the answer. You're about to get it with a YouTube ad break. My answer coming up here in just a moment. I want the Raiders to keep and extend Kolton Miller, and I believe it's what they're ultimately going to end up doing. When I read that quote by Vincent Bonsignore, and he's just talking a lot about, he thought it was conspicuous, thought it was strange that there hasn't been any conversations yet. With all due respect, I don't think it's strange at all. And I don't even know if Raiders fans think it's strange. I think by Vinny putting out the report that he did, he created more concern putting out that report than what any Raider fan actually had in terms of concern around Miller and around Jakobi Meyers. I mean, I talked about what I thought the Kolton Miller deal could end up looking at because to me, in my mind, what were the Raiders focused on this offseason? They were focused on getting better at the quarterback position. They did that with Geno Smith. They got a contract extension done with Geno Smith. Then they put a lot of their attention on the NFL draft, and now we're a week away from the draft. They should be focusing on the NFL draft and worrying about Kolton Miller and Jakobi Meyers after the fact, and I know that they're going to end up doing it. If you want to see what I project the Kolton Miller extension ends up looking like, I put out this video on Thursday, which literally was probably about 24 hours from the moment that I'm recording this video right now. Go check it out. This link's going to be available to you guys down in the comments. If you also want to check out a video that I did on Jakobi Meyers the previous week before that, and in this video, I literally say, Jakobi and Kolton Miller are going to start getting some conversation around contract extensions So be on the lookout for it, but I think it's going to happen after the NFL draft. If you want to see the Meyers and Kolton Miller extension, they're both in those videos down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, we got some Michael Mayer trade rumors, and I had to rock this shirt today. Jeremy Chuggs did a really, really cool interview with NFL insider Aaron Wilson, and he dropped some pretty cool nuggets on Michael Mayer that I think you guys are going to be excited to see. Before we get into that, though, today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Last-minute tickets, flash deals, views from your seats, lowest price guarantee, and Game Time is the official ticketing partner of the Raiders Report. Playoffs are right around the corner. I mean, I actually think they're already here for the NBA. And NHL, plus baseball is finally back. If you're trying to go to your favorite sporting event, Game Time is the app for you. Why? You can save up to 60% off by buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater. Game Time picks make last-minute ticket buying easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium. I love that I can see where my seat is in the venue, which not all places have. It's also really easy to find some of the best deals because not everybody is, we'll call it tech savvy. Sorry, Dad. Lowest price guaranteed, event cancellation protection, job loss protection. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. Create an account, redeem code ChatSports, that's ChatSports for $20 off. Download Game Time today, and if you're wondering what time is it, it's always Game Time. Now, I always do say that there are times when you go to an event and you're being able to create that long-lasting memory. I went to a game yesterday. I'll admit, it wasn't Game Time. I got free tickets from one of my buddies. He was, knew somebody was a setup man for the Angels. But being able to go to that game and being a part of that experience, I'll have that for a very, very long time. I hope I have that experience, that memory forever. I mean, watching a home run, watching 3 strikeouts for one of my buddies who grew up with one of his friends pitching in the MLB, those experience, when you can experience that, it's worth every single penny. Shout out to Game Time for sponsoring the Raiders Report. All right, let's go to the next thing here. We're going to talk about Michael Mayer, and are the Raiders going to be trading Michael Mayer? I'm going to give this one just win, baby, and I'm going to say that there's a small chance that this one happens. The Miller trade, 5% chance. The Michael Mayer trade, I would sit up here and say that there is a 20% chance that this one happens. Jeremy Chuggs, you guys know him very well, interviewed NFL insider Aaron Wilson earlier this week. It was on Wednesday. If you want to go check out the entire interview, you can go check it out over on our Texans Chat Sports YouTube channel, or you can hit up Chuggs on social media at Jeremy Chuggs. Wilson said that he hasn't really heard anything on Mayer. And that was very interesting to me because that was one of the questions that, or one of the statements that we've heard this offseason, that there has been trade discussions around Mayer. I mean, I remember it was literally like in a course of one hour, Vinny B reported that there's conversations around the Raiders shopping Mayer, and then it was like, oh, wait, no, the Raiders are just listening to offers for Mayer. If it was up to me, I want to keep Mayer on this football team, though the one tight end that apparently there are some trade rumors around is Dallas Goedert. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because you always got to look at value. I know that Goedert has way more trade value than Michael Mayer, but if Goedert ends up getting dealt, and it does sound like this is a very possibility during the NFL draft, if Goedert ends up getting dealt, if I'm a Raiders fan, you got to go check out and you got to see what exactly that deal ended up looking like. Because, yes, Brock Bowers is the tight end one. And I can understand that there's probably some frustration for Mayer in that, being like, damn, man, I was a second-round pick. A lot of people thought I could go round 1, and I have a 0% chance of beating out Brock Bowers to be the tight end 1. I mean, I'll tell you this, maybe that's an unfair statement to make on Mayer, but I would love to challenge Mayer, because if he ends up being better than Brock Bowers, holy shit, this team might actually win a Super Bowl. So will the Raiders end up trading Michael Mayer? Give me a yes, give me a no. We already asked the question earlier, so it's going to be really important for you guys to answer this as a yes or no. That way, when I go back and I look at the comments, I know which question you're talking about. For me personally, I don't want the Raiders to trade Mayer. I think that you can use him in a lot of variety of ways, and I still don't know if we have found the right fit for him. He's getting ready to go into his 3rd year into the NFL. I will say, if they do end up trading him, I think it's because Mayer wants to get traded. Or, obviously, unless if a team comes calling and they're like, hey, we're going to give you a 3rd-round pick. See you, Michael. Like, I'll see you later. I think even if it was a 4th-round pick, they would go, all right, Mike, I'll see you later, man. And they're going to probably use that draft pick this year. Overall, though, one of the biggest indications to me is relationships. And, Spytek talked about that today of how this is a football team that really values relationships. And it's even something that Ashton Jeanty said a day or two ago where he was like, yeah, I felt like the Raiders were an organization that really showed me that they want guys that love football and they're really important for relationship building. Well, if you want to build relationships, wouldn't you try to meet with a tight end? The Las Vegas Raiders did not meet with a single tight end during the NFL Combine. They did not meet with a single tight end during pro day visits. They did not meet with a single tight end in your top 30 visits. So that would indicate to me that this team likes its tight end room. And it should. It's one of the best in the NFL with Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. Let's go to the final rumor here on today's show, and it's around the NFL draft. Jalen Milroe will end up going in the NFL draft. He will be drafted before Jackson Dart from Ole Miss. This might surprise you. I'm going to give this one 2 just win babies, and I'm going to say people are talking. And if you haven't seen the latest rumors and the latest stories around Milroe, but especially around Jackson Dart, and this is why I'm saying this, because originally Dart was going to go to the NFL draft. He agreed. He said, I will go in person. Now, he's no longer going. I'm not saying that it's because he's not going to get drafted in round 1, but I do think for a player that says yes to something and then they say no, they're probably hearing some stories out there which indicates to them that they're not going to go in round 1. And if Jackson Dart doesn't go in round 1, I do think that you're going to see a slide of quarterbacks, which helps out the Raiders, because I've been somebody that has been saying I believe the Silver and Black are looking for a quarterback on day 3. Some people are saying like Quinn Ewers is going to go a little bit earlier. To me, the Raiders are going to draft a quarterback on day 3 because some QBs are going to slide. One quarterback that I think is going to slide is going to be Shedeur Sanders, where he might not go in round 1. That might be a crazy statement for some people, but I really think that Shedeur Sanders might not go in round 1. He has really rubbed some teams the wrong way, and some teams don't know what the upside is. Michael Williams, another player who is no longer going to the NFL draft in person anymore, edge rusher from Georgia. One player who is now going to end up going, Maxwell Harrison. And, for him, super athletic. For him to say that, okay, now I am going to end up going, probably somebody has indicated to him that there is going to be a team that drafts him a lot higher. So when you see the players that are ended up going to the NFL draft in person, on the offensive side of the football, there are 9 players. On defense, there are 7. Quarterbacks, Cam Ward and Jalen Milroe are the only ones going, which I almost wonder if Shedeur's not going because he doesn't know if he's going to get drafted in round 1. If you're telling me Shedeur Sanders doesn't like limelight, please. Ashton Jeanty, Travis Hunter, Matthew Golden, Tedero McMillan, Will Campbell, Josh Simmons, Tyler Booker on offense. The defensive players that will be going are going to be Abdul Carter, Shamar Stewart, Mason Graham, Jihad Campbell, Will Johnson, Maxwell Harrison, Malachi Starks. Out of all those names that I just mentioned, the ones to really keep an eye on for the Raiders, Ashton Jeanty, obviously. Will Campbell is still a name that Raiders fans should not be totally shocked if that's who they go with at 6. Also, players along the lines of a Will Johnson, players along the lines of, I'm trying to think, there was one more, I think, on there. Mason Graham is another potential that the Raiders could end up going. Tyler Booker end of round 1 would be interesting, though I would hope that he can fall to the Raiders at 37, if potentially. But, again, a lot of teams really, really like Tyler Booker because of what he stands for, what he brings to the field, and honestly, what he brings off the field. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Those were the rumors from today's show. And, again, if you don't already know, the next time that I'm going to be live on the Raiders Report, Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, the final live show before the 2025 NFL Draft. Snack time. Today is National Animal Cracker Day. I want you to grade them. A, B, C, D, or F. Just your normal animal crackers. No frosting or anything on top. Just that vanilla cracker. How do you grade that snack? A, B, C, D, or F? Animal cracker. I know, like, some people that I know love animal crackers. To me, it's I would probably give it a D. I'm not a big animal cracker guy.
I'd give it a B.
It's not sweet enough. Like, I would rather an animal, like, I like it with the frosting. Then it's sweet. Like, that's how I would want it. It's more of a cookie then.
For me, animal crackers are like the sweet pretzels. Where it's like, I'm not like, oh, I love pretzels. But, like, a bowl of pretzels in front of you while you're watching some TV or, like, just chilling, like, drinking a beer, watching the game, I'm cool with. I feel like animal crackers are the sweet pretzels.
Maybe I'm just against animal crackers then. I don't know. Like, if somebody gave me an animal cracker, I would actually have no problem being like, no, I'm all right. Like, if somebody offered me one, and you know that I don't really turn down food or like to waste food at all. But if somebody offered me one,
yeah.
I don't really know.
Sean Irish, the Reese's covered animal crackers are gas.
Well, see, that sounds amazing. But that's more the Reese's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you put frosting, you put another element to it. Because
of the way I see the chat going, I have this question.
OC Raider. Best elevated snack in your opinion. What do you mean?
When when you're feeling up there. When you're a little more up than down usually.
Oh, so after a happy hour. Yikes. Snack?
Dude, I'm a big Chex Mix guy.
I don't know.
Best snack?
What's your
best bar snack? No, best bar snack. Okay.
So no snack.
Pizza. I see. Oh, how do you feel about goldfish?
I know they smile back, but I'm not really into them.
Are you a bigger Cheez-It guy?
They're fine. I like all those to me are C's. I'm not like a big snack person. Like if I have the munchies, I want like sandwiches. Like I want like real food. Like I'm not gonna sit there and pick at Chex Mix. Now, if you told me that they make the like the sweet version of Chex Mix, which is like puppy chow and stuff like that, look out. That bag's getting
I feel like you're
deleted.
more of a sweet snacker.
Yeah.
Like, bro, some Funyuns. You know I love some Funyuns.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they're very fun.
The spicy cheese.
I
do like the spicy Cheez-Its.
I don't
Twizzlers. Oh, Mitch. I feel like Mitch. Didn't you say you were not a fan of Twizzlers at all?
I'm good on them. I don't like. I'm not a big candy person. I like chocolate. Like if I'm gonna eat candy, I want it in the chocolate form. I don't need Skittles. I don't need Starburst. Twizzlers. No.
Raider Nation 88. I've never been a Slim Jim guy. That's maybe my hot take. Don't like Slim Jims. I'd rather just have beef jerky.
Slim Jims I do not do.
I just the grease. Like when you open it up and it's like wet, I'm like, I'd rather just have beef jerky.
There is something about like even like jerky to me is weird. I'm not gonna lie. I'll eat it sometimes, but there's something about packaged meats don't do well with me.
Alex just said I prefer a Payday. Oh, that's easily the worst candy bar.
It's fun. I like Paydays.
Really?
I do.
Oh, I feel like that is like, I'd rather just have like.
It's a C-level candy
I'd rather
bar.
just have like trail mix.
No. See, I like Paydays. I love peanut butter. Like, I love peanuts. It's not like a candy bar where you walk into a CVS, like 0% chance I'm ever getting a Payday. I think the only way I'm getting a Payday is if it's Halloween and I've already eaten every other piece of candy and it's between that and a Milky Way and a Three Musketeers, I'll eat a Payday.
Yeah, I get roasted a ton by Mitch for this, but I love Dots. Dots are so good.
I don't understand how they're good. You know what I mean? You're like, no, I don't know what you mean.
They're good.
They're okay. They're okay.
If you're feeling good, what are your top 3 snacks that you're going for?
If we're talking like candy, like Dots in that regard,
anything. You can get sweet or not sweet. Just up to you.
All right, I think I want a sandwich. Give me a chicken sandwich, some roast beef, a chicken, and a pizza. Shout out to SpongeBob. Shout out to
I feel
Patrick.
like Mitch is like, what do you want for a snack? And Mitch is like, can I get a rotisserie chicken?
That sounds honestly amazing. Some wings? Oh, yeah. Jersey boy, what up, my man? If you boys are talking beer It's Colorado Kool-Aid for me, a.k.a. Coors Banquet. Johnny Paycheck would be proud. We do actually have some banquet beer out there. Mr. Greaser, if you bang today, I got a banquet beer for you. I'm not a big Coors guy. If I had to pick, though, between Miller Lite and Coors, I also don't love Miller. Miller might be my least favorite beer.
This is the most.
It's the beer my mom drinks.
This is the most Robert Jansen answer ever. He said wasabi-covered coffee beans. Never heard of that.
I actually don't even think they make them. I've heard, like, wasabi-covered peanuts, which I do like. Wasabi-covered coffee beans, I just picture Robert Jansen being like, all right, I'm
wasabi and coffee
I'm going to buy coffee beans. He's just going to cover them wasabi, and there we go. There's no way that that's real. Diamond makes them? Are you sure they're not peanuts?
Or, like, cashews or
something.
Almonds.
Wasabi
I
covered.
feel like coffee and wasabi are way too strong of flavors to go together. Whoa.
I'm trying to see. Wasabi beans? See, like, wasabi, like, covered, like, edamame. I don't think they're coffee beans, dude. I think that they're, like, it's like an edamame or some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you can prove it to me, prove it to me. Because I just Googled it, and Google was like, are you sure? You know? Like, did you type that in right? Anthony Green, the winner of $390 yesterday. What up, Mr. Green? Chuggs, you ready for Mania weekend?
Hell yeah.
Give me Cody over Cena because I don't think the rivalry is strong enough yet. Mitch, am I in the race? I probably should hold you out because you keep winning. Let me look real quick.
Yeah. Anthony,
Anthony. Yeah.
Did you hear the rumors that Stone Cold might be in attendance to help out Cody? I heard it might be Stone Cold and Cody versus The Rock and Cena. That's just some rumors that I've heard. Just rumors. I give it 2 just win babies.
2 just win babies. If anybody's trying to go home with some money today, it's right now the pot's up to $100, $20 Venmo. You would go home with $100 hairs. What up, Kamani? Trade back to 8 and 9. Still get Genty for extra third. And get Milrow second pick and get Higgins third and get O-line with extra third.
The problem with that, Kamani, is if you're trading back, more than likely a team is probably trading up for Genty. Maybe an offensive lineman, but I think if you move back 3 spots, I think you open the window for a lot of things to happen.
I agree. I think the Chicago Bears could be another team that's very aggressive and trying to go up and potentially get Genty. I think that they believe that they are a running back away right now. And, again, they traded for 3 interior offensive linemen this offseason. Higgins in the third's not going to happen, and it's just not going to happen. Like, if you're Jaden Higgins, right? Is that?
Yeah.
He's going in round 2. And the problem is, like, 8 and 9, still get Genty for an extra third and get Milrow. Like, I don't even want to go with Milrow in the second.
Like, I've even been hearing some very slight, but Higgins at the end of round 1 buzz with, like, the Bills or
I mean, he went round 1 in our mock draft the other day. Like, there are some teams that love Jaden Higgins, and I don't think people realize that the Tedero McMillan Jaden Higgins has, like, slowly gotten a lot closer, where 2 months ago it was clearly like McMillan and Higgins were here. That has really gotten much closer.
Yeah. In which we are 15 likes away from a little Kolton Miller time.
A little Kolton Miller time.
So if you want to get another tuna clock for some Miller High Light.
Not quite.
Miller Light?
Miller Light.
Just Miller Light.
Dude,
just Miller Light.
We're not living the high life. I used to live the high life in college. Miller High Life used to go down. I mean, it was amazing. I don't think there was any difference.
Likes away. Can we get there?
Matt Fluhey, you are in. And then I see OC Raider. You are in the duck race as well. It's a 20 right now to go home with $120.
3 likes away. Who's going to be 300?
Uh-oh.
Who's going to be 300?
and 300 likes, it's Miller time. Every 50 we get, Miller time. I don't know how many I'm going to have to take down, though. I'm always amazed on how much more foam there is.
Raider run bang!
I was just going to say, Ron, I'm amazed on how much more foam there is in Miller compared to a Happy Dad, where I'm like looking at this thing now, and I easily got a whole nother mouthful to go.
Pause. That's one.
Ugh.
35 seconds left. Every 50 is a Miller Lite.
This could be bad.
Every
Honestly,
50 is a Miller Lite.
This is where you guys could get me. This is where it could all go downhill. Mr. Raider Ron said, let's rock today. Dude, I'm telling you what. The bad part about today's show, in all honesty, we have Alex and I probably have a 90-minute car ride. She's driving. I don't drive. The amount of times I peed yesterday at that baseball game, or on some of the days like where we do boots and stuff, the amount of times you pee after a show, that 90-minute car ride could be a long car ride. We could be cutting it close.
Oh! See! Raider! Bang!
All right.
All right, so that's 2 Millers.
2. Let me finish this one first for Ron.
David Zahn Bang!
All right.
All right. Now, ladies.
Let me just go get a boot. It's just going to be easier. I'll be right back.
Oh, wait, no. Ah! Wait. There we go. I was not ready for Mitch to be gone. Raider Ron! Time for another beer, y'all. What's up, Zahn and Mount Raider more Chuggs? Deal with it. Dubs in 5, period. Hit that like button, all. Team trade back. Oh, it doesn't. Ron. Golden State, Prostate, Bad Date, John and Kate, +8. It doesn't matter. Rockets in 5. Let's go. Rockets are getting the dub. Pun intended. Rockets are getting the dub. Let's go. O.C. Raider. Team trade back here. Let's effing go. Suck it up and blow it out, Mitchie. Wow. And from David Zahn, shouting out to Raider Ron. Bye!
Mr. Zahn, Mr. Ron, OC. Oh. All right. I got a boot. Which, honestly, it's just going to be easier. And what I'm learning is, because there's so much more foam and beer for these like Merbongas, it's so much foam. So much foam. So I got a boot here. We're going to take one down. Appreciate you guys participating in Miller time. I got a Zahn shake. Well, it's technically not a Zahn shake. It's a Miller Lite shake. So.
Oh, yeah. Zahn only drinks Bud Light.
The long way.
Mm-hmm.
Through a straw, actually.
Yep.
Which, it's kind of weird. Usually when you see a man drink beer out of a can, they don't typically put a straw in it. What I've seen Dave that he likes to do is he likes to take this top over here. He puts it in front of the beer can, kind of like so. That way his straw goes in there, and that way you can just get a good grip on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's really cool sometimes. I mean, I've seen Dave take down a beer with a straw in less than 3 seconds.
Yeah, dude.
It's pretty impressive, man.
Curtis, knew you were not a cracker guy. No, yep, Mitch isn't a cracker. Douglas, Chuggs, they need to bring back Asuka. Yeah, I don't know what's up with her. I feel like she's a big candidate to come back Raw after WrestleMania. Sam, why are you smirking over there? Scorton? He's about to rebel at the Super Bowl.
Oh, no. I totally forgot about Squirtin. Whatever his name is.
Nick Squirtin.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I
Who
do.
remembers that yesterday?
Douglas, I do feel like Asuka will return, but after WrestleMania, I think she's still under contract with WWE. I think I can. Raiders Shield family, fake sports, i.e. WWE, put me in limp mode, so to speak.
Oh, wait, this is Nabman.
Oh, Navman. If I want fake, I will just watch the NBA. Much love, Nation. Also, team trade back.
So I watched Navman's live yesterday, and he sent me the link. I was at the baseball game, Nav, so I didn't plan on being at the game. And I don't know if you guys have ever been to a sporting event. It was pretty crowded actually there last night. Reception was terrible. What?
I don't know if you've ever been to a sporting event, but pretty crowded.
Well, I was gonna say it
pretty crowded.
Well, because it's so crowded, you don't get good connection.
Surprising, a lot of people were there.
I ran into a few people. But so the connection didn't really work. So when I got home, I tuned in, and it's Nav just chilling in his garage, and it's an old man live. He's doing a lot of testing. A lot of testing. Nav, I'm glad that you're able to do it, man. Keep rocking and rolling. Keep doing your thing. Once you get everything up and running, I got to be a guest sometime. I gotta be a guest sometime. All right, I want to get into the next segment here on today's show because why not after a boot?
Yeah. Well, we're going to try to put it like this, Nav. Get you out of limp mode with these LV trade candidates.
That's insane.
Hard mode, engaged.
Slingshot, engaged.
Which we were joking before we went live. I don't know if any of y'all saw that report, but RIP to the great Mike Leach, former head coach of Texas Tech, Washington State, and Mississippi State. But Mike Leach, the old college head coach, reportedly had an idea before he passed that got turned down by all of his assistants, that he wanted to get a little person, so somebody under 3 foot, put him at running back on goal line situations and throw him over the line of scrimmage.
What?
Did you not see this?
No.
Oh, dude, we were talking about it out there. Mike Leach, reportedly, before he passed away, was talking with his coaching staff and was like, on goal line situations, could we get a little person, like a dwarf, a small person, put him at running back and throw them with the ball over the line of scrimmage?
I mean, honestly, I just picture the world's strongest men competitions where they would get those barrels. I mean, if you told me right now you get Jackson Powers Johnson, okay, and you get a little person, and you put somebody else at center, and you hand the ball off to JPJ.
No, it'd be to the little person.
Are you allowed to hold pre-snap? I'm talking pre-snap. JPJ's behind the center, and he's already got him in his hands, holding him by his feet, quite frankly. You snap him the ball, and it's an instant. I bet you throw him high enough, you can't get to him.
Dude, that little person's getting lit up, though.
But,
if you don't throw him high enough, the linebacker's coming in and just...
Oh, it's not going to be pretty.
It's not going to be good.
I'll tell you what. It's creative, and the only time that we could possibly talk about that is on a Friday happy hour.
Dude,
How high could you throw somebody, though?
Me and Harrison.
If that person is 90 to 100 pounds, how high could you throw him? JPJ could launch that person.
Me and Harrison were dying laughing talking about it. Rebel said Rey Mysterio could do it.
I'm just saying.
Navman said, Chuggs, have you ever tried to tackle a little person? It's impossible. Navman, how many little people have you tried to tackle?
I'm just going to say this right now. I just picture Navman running around his backyard trying to
tackle a little person.
It sounds like a lawsuit, Navman. It sounds like a lawsuit.
And
it reminds me of that one Family Guy episode where the game that they played is they have to try to tackle the greased up deaf guy. Do you know what I'm talking about or no?
No, but that sounds hilarious.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. Family Guy's an
They're going to
interesting-
land on the – well, that's the other question. If you launch them, say you throw them too far out of the back of the end zone.
touchdown.
I guess, yeah, because the ball crossed the plane.
All you got to do is cross the plane. I mean, I'm just saying. Scoop him up, throw him by his ankles. He's going to do some flips.
Dude, just –
Touchdown. You're telling me Super Bowl game on the line. I bet you JPJ is strong enough to throw him almost. Again, you're talking about an NFL athlete throwing at most 150 pounds by the ankles. Dude, he's launching him. Launching him, dude. Touchdown. There's no way that would be allowed, though, right? There's just no way. I mean, we've seen people are upset about the tush push. Can you even imagine?
And before we get into our next segment, I totally missed this
What?
one. That's on me.
Patrick
Roche Bay! And you know what, Patrick, since you feel bad about it, I'll slam a happy dad for this one because Mitch just had a boot, and I do want him to get this next segment and not have to pee.
I got you. Roche, I don't know if I got yours to get in the duck race. It's a 20 to get in for the duck race, Roche.
You can. I'll drink this one on the house. Just give him one for this.
I got you.
Oh,
Patrick Roche.
you're in.
So that means it's a $20 Venmo to go home. Wait, sorry, Nav. I didn't see yours. 93.
Douglas said, I hit a little person as one of my students. Dude was a punt kick returner on the football team, was fast as boy, and easy miss. Douglas, you got to send me a video. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's insensitive or not, but can you please send me a video if you have any?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to watch it. You know? I think if you watch it more than 3 times, though, you can't do that.
You can only watch it twice.
2 times, that's it. I'm going to watch it, though. And you should watch it. I mean, that'd be fun to watch.
JPJ and Wee, just like
JPJ and Wee Man.
Mini Me, R.I.P.
Is there a small wrestler?
Oh, yeah, Hornswoggle.
What's his name?
Look it up.
I don't know how.
Horn?
No, that's not the issue.
Swoggle.
Yeah, spell that. Horn. All right, came right up. I mean, WrestleMania is this weekend. JPJ, let's figure out if this works, man. Hornswoggle.
You're like, the more I think about it,
Dude,
the more I think about it, the more I like it.
The worst part is you can't tell me that there isn't at least a little part of you that goes, it does make sense.
Right?
I'm telling, if it's 4th down and 1, and you know that your front's not going to beat their front, if you're telling me right now Hornswoggle is in the hands of JPJ, and it's an instant snap to Hornswoggle's chest, and all JPJ's just got to do is, JPJ's ready. Hornswoggle catches it almost like upside down. JPJ just go. Nobody's touching him, dude. And if they do, it's not good.
Dude, it's a fumble touchdown the other way.
Oh, my God. He'd have to put him in a Guardian helmet. It's the only way that it's possible.
Do we have Guardian pads?
Guardian helmet pads. Just throw them in one.
You just throw them in 2 Guardian helmets, just in a ball.
Oh, Christ. All right, we got to go to the next segment. We're
All
getting
right.
down a slippery slope here. Slippery slope. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Sometimes Friday happy hour can get off the rails. Just blame that on Zon, OC, everybody. That's on you. That's on you. Coming up, let's talk about some players that could potentially be traded before the NFL draft or after, or I guess I should say during the NFL draft. I got some candidates. I also got some fun trade ideas. And then we're going to do a mailbag at the end of today's show. What a conversation that just turned into. I kind of want to see it. It's going to be a segment. I mean, we always talk about cornerback targets, defensive tackle targets. I got to think of a better title than that, but I say we do a segment on it. Be interesting. Nope. All right, here we go. You guys ready? Coming up, let's get into some trade candidates. This one's going to be fun. Hopefully everyone's having a good time today. Appreciate everyone for being chill and relax on a Friday happy hour. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. In today's show, we're going to be looking at some Raiders trade candidates before or during the 2025 NFL Draft. We're less than a week away from the draft, and right now a lot of the conversations that have been popping up around the silver and black have been, maybe this player could be moved on from. Maybe that player could be moved on from. So today, I'm going to tell you which 5 players are the most likely to be dealt from the moment I'm making this video right now to leading up until during the NFL Draft. On top of that, I'm going to also be breaking down 5 trade ideas of why I would say that team's going to make the deal for the Raiders players. If you don't already know, I want you to hit that subscribe button. We will be live for the entire 2025 NFL Draft. We had almost 300,000 people tune in last season, live for nearly 21 hours over the course of those 3 days. If a trade happens before the draft, I will go live. Also, just keep in mind, I am going to be with my family this weekend. It's Easter weekend, so if any breaking news does happen, it's going to be Chuck and I out in the woods, so it's going to be pretty lit. And if you're looking for free Raiders analysis around draft, trades, this is going to be the channel for you. Let's go to the very first player here. They're not ranked. I'm just talking about different guys that I think could be traded before the NFL Draft or during it. And we got to go with the most maybe obvious name out there, at least. When I was live on Friday during Friday Happy Hour, the name that had the most votes in terms of which Raiders player is the most likely to be traded during the draft was, in fact, Aidan O'Connell. There was a report that came from Vic Tafer that said that the Raiders are looking for a day 3 pick for AOC. The Raiders are expected to draft a quarterback, and they can literally draft a quarterback at any time, according to Pete Carroll and John Spytek. I am a believer that a QB ends up getting picked on day 3, round 4, round 5, round 6, round 7. Maybe it's a name like Will Howard, Quinn Ewers, no matter who it is, they would end up competing with Aidan O'Connell. A trade for the Raiders ends up saving us $903K. Whoop-de-doo for the silver and black. The new team would end up taking on $1.2 million, and for AOC, somebody that's got 20 games played, 17 starts, at $1.2 million, Aidan O'Connell does have a lot of value. I've also sat up here and said on this, I wouldn't trade AOC, which might surprise some people out there. Now, again, you're going to give me a 4th-round pick? Yeah, I'm going to trade Aidan O'Connell. But if you're not going to give me a worthwhile offer, I'm okay with the idea of hanging on to Aidan, a very capable backup behind Geno Smith, competing with a young rookie, because Aidan O'Connell, in my mind, would make a rookie quarterback better. And if, God forbid, if Geno Smith were to get hurt, you'd have Aidan O'Connell to be able to step in and allow that rookie to continue to learn. Because we don't want to happen. Geno gets hurt, now your rookie's being thrown into the fire, then why the hell do we even draft him? You know what I'm saying? So here's the trade that I have cooked up here. Pittsburgh Steelers trade for Aidan O'Connell and for a 6th-round pick at 185. The reason why I have the Steelers here, they don't have a quarterback. They're picking at 21. The reports are that the Shedeur Sanders could fall to Pittsburgh all the way down to 21. That's a real report. But according to Aaron Wilson, the Steelers and Shedeur Sanders' meeting was like a disaster. And there's been a lot of NFL teams that have said they're very turned off by Shedeur, and he could fall out of round 1. If the Steelers are going to go into the season with Mason Rudolph as their quarterback, what happens if Aaron Rodgers retires? We don't know if he's going to play for Pittsburgh. And if the Steelers get an inkling that that could happen, I think that Aidan O'Connell is better than Mason Rudolph. Just saying. That's the trade that I think could happen. Let's go to the next position here, and it's going to be Michael Mayer at the tight end position. I will admit that I don't know how likely a trade is going to happen, but I do think that there also has to be a other team being interested, right? Like, there's going to be somebody that's probably like, why isn't Zamir White in today's show? Well, Zamir White's not in today's show because I don't know how many teams want to trade for Zamir White. But the Michael Mayer trade rumors, let's be honest, they've been swirling all offseason. Hell, they were swirling last season during the NFL trade deadline just because of how much time Mayer missed. We know that Brock Bowers is going to be the Raiders tight end, one of the future, and that's just not a knock on Mayer. We have the best tight end in the National Football League, and that's just how it goes. But I do know that there could be some teams out there potentially interested in Mayer. A trade for the Raiders, you save $653K, but you end up eating $1.9 million. And I know that Mayer has struggled through 2 years of his career. That's a true statement. But also at the same time, bad quarterback play, different head coaches, different offensive coordinators, different quarterback coach. I mean, it's been so many different moving parts. The one stable part has been the Raiders tight end coach, Luke Steckel, who is regarded as one of the better tight end coaches in the NFL. Honestly, the way that I would think about Steckel is almost like kind of the way that I would talk about Rob Leonard, very, very well-respected tight end coach. But if there is a team that's still looking for a tight end, in terms of a tight end one, that team is the Indianapolis Colts. And I know that the Colts just recently brought back Mo Alley-Cox, somebody that I talked about a few times this offseason. But for the Raiders, I think you get a fifth-round pick for Mayer. The Colts end up getting Mayer. All the trades that you are seeing are not trades that I'm saying I would do. Today's show is more around why a player could get dealt and a fair, honest, overall draft compensation of what a team would offer for Michael Mayer right now or during the NFL draft. So this is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. And I want to know which Raiders player on our roster as it stands right now, and I am recording this video on April 18th when we are live. Who is the most likely to be traded during the NFL draft? My answer is going to be coming up right here after this YouTube ad break. I believe the player that is the most likely to be traded by the Las Vegas Raiders on draft night is actually Aidan O'Connell. And I say that because quarterback, we've seen quarterbacks move, though I could also make an interesting case for Thayer Munford, who's also actually a player that I don't talk about today, but if a team is willing to offer the Raiders a 7th-round pick in 2026, then a Thayer Munford trade I do think could end up happening. Let's go to offensive line, and we're going to go to the big name. I'm going to go with Kolton Miller, and there's been a lot of Kolton Miller trade rumors going on right now, and maybe they are deserving so, maybe they are not deserving so. There is a lot of smoke. I'll say this. I don't know how much fire is going on around that smoke. He does want a new contract, and if he doesn't get one, he will be traded. The reason why Miller, though, is on this list is because he is still one of the top offensive tackles in the NFL, and I do think with Armin Membu and Will Campbell going in the top 10, both players, I don't want to say 100% both players are going to go in the top 10, but I would be shocked if both players don't go in the top 10. I think both players could end up going, honestly, in the top 7. And if teams know that and they're like, well, if we're going to miss out on those offensive tackles, but we still need an offensive tackle, Kolton Miller could be a name to keep in mind because if you're a team and you're going, well, I could just trade for Miller. I only got to pay him $12.3 million. Yeah, you're going to have to also give him a contract extension on top of that. But it's a more than fair deal for a 29-year-old who's going to be 30 years old, who's been one of the most consistent offensive tackles over the past 4 seasons in the National Football League. I'll tell you which team I think is the most likely to trade for Miller, and I'll show you the trade here in just a moment. But today's show, sponsored by Game Time. And I mean, look at this. Michael Mayer fired up about Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I love me some Game Time, and I think that the nation will too. And I also love this time of the year. Playoffs, they're here, and whether it's the NBA, the NHL, baseball, love it all. If you're trying to go to your favorite sporting event, Game Time, it's the app for you. Last-minute tickets and zone deals, views from all the seats in the venue, lowest price guaranteed, event cancellation protection, and even job loss protection. Probably my favorite thing, though, about Game Time is the Game Time picks. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater. Game Time Picks makes last-minute ticket buying easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium. You can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS, that's CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. I also want to know how many basketball fans we got out there and how many people think that the Warriors are going to take down the Rockets. Let's go to the trade here. I think the Green Bay Packers right now are the most likely team if a trade were to end up going down for Kolton Miller, I think the Green Bay Packers would be the team. And I think that the Raiders could potentially get a second-round pick at number 54 overall. Why do I say that? We've already seen a lot of our own Raiders players kind of go to Green Bay, and I think a big reason of that is because of Rich Bisaccia. Another team to really keep in mind is wherever Derek Carr lands. And Derek Carr and Kolton Miller still have a very good relationship. But for a team like Green Bay, their left tackle right now, and I can't think of his name, it's escaping me. He's a young guy. He's 26 years old. He's in the final year of his contract. Miller is an upgrade over him, and it would also be able to protect Jordan Love's blind side. And Love's been a player that's, been battling some injuries over the past few seasons. But also, Kolton Miller is very close to Josh Jacobs, and I almost wonder if Jacobs, the Rich Bisaccia, some of these other past Raiders players that have gone to Green Bay have that connection. Rasheed Walker, that's the name. Rasheed Walker, no disrespect to Walker, who's actually been playing pretty well as a young man. Kolton Miller's just a better offensive tackle, and I think we could get a pick like that at number 54 overall, which, again, that would be the value that I would look for. I'm not saying I would do it. I'm simply saying that this is a trade that I could see happening if the Raiders have if they have no interest whatsoever in extending him, well, then they will end up trading him. That's a promise. Let's go to the next player here. It's going to be Dylan Parham on the offensive line. And this would be one that I really don't want the Raiders to do. I want the Raiders to give Dylan Parham a contract extension. I'm not afraid to admit that. I like Parham. I love his versatility. I think he's a very underappreciated player that's had to deal with a lot of different regimes. But, let's face the facts here. He's been a starter. He's played at left guard. He's played at right guard for 3 seasons, 3 totally different regimes, and he's getting ready to get into another regime. But he's also in the final year of his contract. If I'm the Raiders and I want to take advantage of the highest deal that I possibly can get for Parham, you might want to try to trade him now before the NFL draft, because if you trade him after the draft, I think that his value is going to end up going down. The Raiders sign Alex Kappa, who is a John Spytek guy, to a 2-year, $11 million deal. And when you see some of the other deals that the Raiders made, it kind of looks like starting potential guard money. And Dylan Parham is a good, versatile player overall. And because he's a versatile player, there will be teams out there that are going to be looking for more linemen that give you some of that versatility. Parham can play center. Parham can play right guard. Parham can play left guard. He played even right tackle in college. I don't know if he's a tackle in the NFL. Some people might, say he's not even a guard because he's not big enough. He does need to add a little bit of weight. But when I think about teams, moves, a lot of former Raiders are on that Carmen Basillo offensive line with the New York Giants. So here's the trade. The Raiders, you get pick 105. The New York Giants, they have 2 picks in round 3. And their last pick in round 3, I want to say, is at pick 99. It's late in round 3. So they probably look at that as well, that's my 4th round pick. The Giants end up getting Dylan Parham and a 6th round pick at 213. I know some people might think that Parham's just worth a 4th round pick straight up, but you also got to think if the Raiders are moving on from him, you're probably not going to get the deal that you want. You might get a little bit more of a low ball offer. So because of that, I do think that a pick swap needs to be involved in that. Before I get into the final player here on today's show, I did a video earlier in the week, and it was around Armin Membu. And I said, shout out to everybody that DM'd me on Instagram, that was hitting me up and just saying, dude, do you see this report around Membu? And in my mind, that's a real one. Why? Because people knew that I've been talking about my love for Armin Membu for weeks, for months, and me saying that I think that that's a player that the Raiders should draft at number 6. So the people that I know shouted it out, real one down in the chat, because I said, where are my real ones at? I saw Def Halo. I saw Joseph Hammer, Ron Raspberry, Doug Kendall, J Smooth 23. I see you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being a real one. If anybody's asking, Mitch, what's a real one? How about somebody who is a real one? Explain what it is down below. Let's go to the final player here on today's show. And it's going to be Tyree Wilson, the defensive lineman of the Las Vegas Raiders. Another player that I don't want the Raiders to trade. But if we're talking about value, I bet you there's an NFL team out there that goes, I can make Tyree Wilson work. I can make him into something that the Raiders haven't been able to do. And Wilson has got 2 years left on his rookie deal. And after being drafted at number 7 overall, if you're the Raiders and you don't think that you're going to give him a 5th-year option, this is technically, you're kind of going into year 3. It's got to be able to click here a little bit. And for the Raiders, they brought back Malcolm Kuntz. You brought back Adam Butler. Plus, the Silver and Black have been looking at, prospects like a Jalen Walker. They've been looking at defensive tackles on the interior, where I look at Tyree and I go, can he be a Caleb Vaughn replacement? Can he be somebody where, we can still line him up at DT, we line him up at defensive end? He hasn't been working out with the Raiders. He's been in the DFW area. A trade doesn't save you any money. You end up eating way more money. So if you end up doing the trade, it better be worth it. The problem is I don't see a team giving the Raiders anything higher than a 4th-round pick. And if you were to ask me which team do I think has the biggest need right now from an edge defensive line standpoint, I believe it's the Atlanta Falcons. You also trade him away to the NFC, which, not saying the Raiders would be worried about it. I could see a team maybe like the Chiefs or the Chargers being interested. I would hope the Raiders won't trade Tyree Wilson there. But I'll also say this. If the Raiders end up trading Tyree Wilson, it's because they believe he's just not going to put it together. Because I do think if Tyree Wilson can't put it together with Rob Leonard, Patrick Graham, this coaching staff who's been able to work with a lot of great defensive linemen, not even great, have been able to help defensive linemen be much better, maybe it's a Tyree Wilson thing. And I hope that that's not the case. So out of all the trades that I showed you, which team offered the best trade? If you think it's the Atlanta Falcons and Tyree Wilson, type Falcons. If you think it's the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aidan O'Connell, type Steelers. What about the Indianapolis Colts trying to get Michael Mayer, type Colts? The Green Bay Packers going out and trying to get Kolton Miller. The New York Giants trying to get Dylan Parham. I want to know down below which team you thought potentially would offer the best trade. And again, I want to be very, very clear. I'm not sitting up here saying that those are the trades that I would do. I always try to give you my honest opinion when it comes to trades in terms of fair value for the Raiders and a fair value for the other team. When a trade does happen, you already know that I will give my opinion on that deal. If you're looking for any updates from me over the weekend, it's Easter weekend. I'm going to be hanging out with Chuck, hanging out with the fam. Can't wait to do it, quite frankly. Make sure you guys hit me up on social media. I'm going to have more free time over the weekend to answer some questions as well. So if I don't get to some of the questions during a live show, this weekend's going to be a good weekend to hit me up. Let's go to Nab, man. What up, dude? So is this the quarterback audible? 323 grenade. 323 grenade set hut. This dude I played football with was a monster. Are you saying for the
You could never
Mike
be a
Leach
quarterback.
conversation?
Yeah, you could never be a quarterback.
What?
323.
323 grenade. 323 set go. For Chuck, I'm not going to lie. For Chuck, I do green 18. And I don't even remember how it started. A few years ago, I was trying to train Chuck how to play fetch. And he's honestly a super smart dog. And now, true story, he doesn't catch it every time. He catches it on the bounce, though. I'm not kidding you. 7 out of 10 times, I'll get a green tennis ball, green 18. And he'll sit there right next to me. And I'll go green 18. And he's ready to go. You know what I mean? He's amped up to do it. And I'll go, ready, go. And he'll just run as fast as he can straight. And I'll throw a tennis ball as far as I can. And by the time it bounces and on that second bounce, before it hits the ground, Chuck will catch it 7 out of 10 times. But it's green 18. Green 18. Dude's a legend. We're gonna play a lot of green 18 this weekend. Also, Alex's family, they have a pond. And dude's gonna be hyped up for that pond. It's supposed to rain a lot though this weekend. Raider! Run! Bye! Come on, Ron. Come on, Ron. What do you got for me, man? I am going to pour this into here, though. We'll use that later. It's so much foam, dude. So much foam, dude.
So much
There's
foam.
if you're thinking about foam.
Oh, so much foam.
I mean, you have to admit, when you drink a beer compared to a Happy Dad, it's much different.
We're full?
It's much different. Who is the Raiders' best offensive lineman right now? Today is National Lineman Day, and it's not linemen as offensive line. It's actually people who are
on the front
power
lines?
lines.
Oh.
Power lines. power lines.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them. Josh I. Actually, I don't know if that's what Josh I did. That's not what Josh I did. I don't think. He was a sponsor the other day, but what do you got for me, Ron?
Trade AOC during the draft. Get a 4th, 5th, or a 6th. Pick a QB in rounds 4 or 5. Sign Wentz or Huntley after the draft for QB2. Let the rookie learn behind QB1 and 2. Cheers, Nation. Raider Nation for life. Team trade back to that 10-12 range. My earlier prediction.
So here's the thing. I don't like the idea of trading Aidan and then going out and getting, somebody like Carson Wentz. And I only say that because,
which I think he already signed.
Yeah, I was saying, where is he?
I think he's with the Browns.
I think you're right.
Or where did he sign?
I don't know. No, because the Browns have.
They got Kenny Pickett.
They got Kenny Pickett. They also have what? They just added somebody else. Flacco?
Yeah.
Is it Flacco?
Where did he sign?
I mean, maybe he's still available. I guess my point is this, Ron. Aidan O'Connell at $1.2 million.
Oh, no. Look, it says he's still a free agent.
Like, what does Carson Wentz go for? Because it's not going to be $1.2 million. And if you're talking about just backup QB, I think Carson Wentz and Aidan O'Connell, I can make an argument right now, are equally as good. I think more people still probably would take Wentz, and that might hurt some Raiders fans' feelings. But I don't see what's wrong with the idea of if this is your plan, in my mind, just keep Aidan. I think it's really important in the NFL to have a reliable, good backup in the league. I mean, it's literally why the Eagles won the Super Bowl a few years ago.
And who was on the team?
Mr. Wentz. Maybe we should go get Big Dick Nick. Nick Foles.
He retired.
That's fine. Doesn't mean he can't come out of retirement. Nick Foles, where you at? No. I still like the idea of trading back. And again, I think the idea of trading back is more than okay. It's what exactly are you looking for? If the Raiders want Ashton Genty and Armin Membu, I will admit now,
Jonte,
trading outside of the top 9, I don't think Genty or Membu are available outside of the top 9. I really, really don't. Reminder, y'all, today is Raiders Friday Happy Hour, and I will say this, I do have to leave by, I have to be out of here at the absolute latest. I can stay live for another 75 minutes. That is the absolute, positively latest that I can stay live. Just letting you know ahead of time. Today's deals are this. Every 100 likes, we play a game called Miller Time. And so far, it's been getting me. I'm not going to lie. If you want to get in for a chance to win some money, it's a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. And then today we're doing half-off bangs, man. Great value bangs, as some of y'all may have called them. We got 455 people here in the building right now. If you don't already know, make sure you're ready to pull up. Here on the Raiders report, I would say right now the duck race that we have is at, last time I checked, $20 Venmo. You would go home with $140, but since then, we have gotten a few more. I see Richard Kelly. You're in. Jose Salas. I got you in. Darth Fatass. You, sir, are also in. You in. I do feel a pee coming on soon, but I'm all right for right now. I'm all right for right now. How you feeling?
I'm good. I haven't been eating a ton this week because of not a lot of bread. And I've been eating mostly salads, but today I destroyed that Chipotle bowl, meeting at 2 right after live.
That's funny. I feel that. I'm not gonna have time to do that. What up, Raiders Shield? What up, Mosa Raider? Gutierrez, Robert Jansen, Terrence Miner. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's show.
Use a Gatorade bottle.
Gatorade bottle. I'm haunted ever since. They still haunt me to this day.
Rolly says he likes using the aluminum cans because they fit better.
I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to answer that. Though, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it today.
Maybe somebody that we can throw over the line of scrimmage.
I mean, based on what I've heard, I don't think that that's the case.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What have you heard?
That people you can throw over the line of scrimmage are bigger in certain areas. I mean, you can't tell me you've never heard that before.
No.
You've never heard that before.
No.
Really? All right.
Dragon dong?
I don't know about that.
Skid marks.
Nope. We're getting off a whole nother tangent here. All right, here's what I want to do. I want to get into the mailbag here on today's show, and then we're going to open the door of Pandora's box. It's going to get wild. It's going to get wild here on today's episode. So if you haven't already, hashtag Raiders or Super Chat to skip the line, get those questions and comments on.
Oh, like, are we talking Chris Ivory?
Dude, I don't know. It's just, I've heard that.
From who? Who told you this?
People on the internet. I feel like it's like a well-known thing. No? All right. I don't know. I'm not talking about this. It's weird.
You're the one who's like, oh, yeah, I've been told a lot about it. This is my first conversation of that.
All right. We'll talk about it later, I guess. I don't know. No, I never want. I mean, the conversations we're having. If you're just tuning in right now, just look up Mike Leach, I guess, is maybe the easiest way to kind of get this conversation going. Maybe it's the easiest way. Maybe it's not. All right, let's get into a mailbag here. I want questions around NFL draft and trades. Can you just get rid of the line that's right here, free agency, on the other graphic? I just want draft and trades. Like, those are my, unless, I don't think we have any free agency yet. That's my only thing. We are 25 likes away. All right, yeah, I guess we could. Let's do it. Let's just run it. Let's do a mailbag, and then however long you want to keep this shit show going, we're going to keep this shit show going. Raider Shield? Nah, man, honestly, you're throwing me off with this different name. You're throwing me off. It's all good, though. You ready? You guys ready? Mailbag, final segment here on today's show. Coming up right now. What's going on, Raider Nation? It's mailbag time. I'm Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Report, and every time I go live, I like to answer questions. Sometimes we do this mailbags to just see what Raider Nation is thinking. All the questions and comments today are going to be around the draft, some trades, and we might get a few free agency questions along the way. Let's go to the first one. Raider Ron starting this thing off. Shout out to Ron. Give me some RRs down below. Trade Aidan O'Connell during the draft. Get a 4th, 5th, or 6th. Pick a quarterback in rounds 4 to 5. Sign Wentz or Huntley after the draft for a quarterback 2. Let the rookie learn behind the QB1 and quarterback 2. Cheers, Nation. Also, team trade back. I am actually also still team trade back, though, in the 10 to 12 range. The only way that I'm willing to do that now is if I'm getting a 2nd and a 3rd round pick, that's where I'm interested. If I'm only getting like a 2nd round pick or a 3rd round pick, I am worried of which player maybe the Raiders end up going in that direction. If you want to sign Carson Wentz, I actually don't want to sign Carson and trade away Aidan. I just think it would make more sense to keep Aidan, let the rookie and Aidan battle against each other because Aidan will make that rookie better. And then if Geno Smith gets hurt, you just have O'Connell, and then you just continuously let that rookie sit back and learn. Like, if that's the plan, that plan to me is a plan that I like a little bit more. Let's go to the next one coming in here from Kamani, Washington. Trade back to 8 and 9. Still get Genty for an extra 3rd. Get Melrose for a 2nd pick. Get Higgins. Jaden Higgins ain't going to go in the 3rd. I honestly think if you go back to 8 and 9, the risk of losing Genty is high. Like, I think that the Bears could trade up for a running back, which might surprise some people out there. I'm not interested in Jalen Milroe in the 2nd. And if you're telling me we go offensive line, I could see us going offensive line with one of our top 3 picks in the draft. Let's go to Jersey Boy, Membu and Henderson, or Genty and Booker. This is actually a conversation that we had during our live Chat Sports mock draft. And if you want to go check it out, we were live on Thursday. Please go do so. If you want to go Membu at 6, you might be able to get Henderson at 37. Just like if you go Genty at 6, you might be able to get Tyler Booker. I would be curious of what you guys would rather have. So how about this? MH if you would go Membu or Henderson. JB if you go Genty or Booker. So I'm not going to lie. This might surprise some people. I am okay with both of them. More than okay with both of them. Though Membu and Henderson's talking to me. Let's go to Curtis Bishop. What up, man? If we get Ramsey, do you think that we can extend Miller? I don't really think that they have any influence on each other, if I'm being 100% honest with you. If the Raiders want to go out and get Ramsey, it's a one-year proof-it deal, like $21.1 million. In terms of extending Miller, I do think that this deal does end up getting done. Though I almost wonder if the Dolphins are a team that could be interested in trying to trade for Miller, because Will Campbell and Armin Membu aren't going to make it to the Dolphins at 13, and they need help on that offensive line. Let's go to the next one. Coming in from Oakland, would you do this Ramsey trade so we swap first and we get Ramsey? Can you build that? So, all right, so we swap 6 and 13, and so we get pick 13, and we get Jalen Ramsey, and the Miami Dolphins get pick 6. I'm going to be real with you, dude. I don't really think that this is a good value trade for the Las Vegas Raiders. I think that we should get more. Like, I like Jalen Ramsey, and I do think that the Raiders would be better with Jalen Ramsey. I really, really do. But at the exact same time, you got to be able to get a trade that at least gives you some value. I would want a second-round pick on top of that. I would want a second. Maybe we swap fifths or something like that. How about this, though? We'll keep it the mailbag question. Who ends up winning this trade? If you think it's the Raiders type LV, if you think it's the Miami Dolphins type MIA, quite frankly, I think the Dolphins win this trade. It's not really a deal that I would do. I would say I would want the Dolphins' second-round pick, which I think it's 48. I was just talking to Rolly about this the other day. So how about we get 13, Jalen Ramsey, pick 48, and in exchange, the Dolphins get a fifth-rounder, and we swap that first. I'm looking right now at the trade value chart. If you can build, I know I'm asking you a lot. If you could build that one, I would like for people to be able to see at least like what that would look like, because to me, that's a little bit more of a fair value. Like, again, I do think Ramsey's a good player, but if we're going back to 13, in my mind, I kind of want a second and a third round pick. Jalen Ramsey ain't worth a second and a third round pick. Quite frankly, I think that you might be able to get Ramsey right now for a fourth after the Chris Greer comments. So let's just say this was the trade. 13, 48, Raiders get Ramsey. Dolphins get pick 6 because they want to go out and draft an offensive lineman because they don't want to pay. Right now, like, they're cutting guys. Like, they're moving on from Ramsey because they don't want to pay him, which is why I'm like, I don't know if they trade for Miller because then they'd have to pay for Miller. Who ends up winning this trade? I think that this is actually a pretty good value overall for the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's go to the next one. Coming in here from Gutierrez. What's up, my brother? If Miller sits out mandatory camp, do you trade his ass right away? I do not trade his ass right away. This would be a frustrating thing for me because right now people are freaking out because he's not there. But again, it's voluntary off-season workouts for an offensive lineman that's been a part of this regime since 2018. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why we're freaking out about it right now. If it starts getting into the mandatory camp days and a captain's not showing up, then yes, you get concerned. But I think that the Raiders end up getting a contract extension done with Kolton Miller in May. I really do. I think that they're not concentrating on it now because their focus is on the draft, which is where their concentration should be. They know Kolton Miller's a stand-up dude. Miller wants to stay in Las Vegas. I think a deal ends up getting done in May. We got more questions coming up here in just a moment, but today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. You can see your seat view, access your tickets from your phone, and easily resell your tickets. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. I want you to take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Terms apply again. Create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS. That's CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today, and if you're wondering what time is it, it's time for you to go get started with Game Time. I think it's also time to be able to go in person to watch a NBA playoff game. One of the things that I always think about are not like bucket list things, but definitely stuff that I want to do before my time is up. I want to be able to go to all 32 or all MLB baseball stadiums with my dad. I would love to be able to go watch an actual Raiders game in person. Obviously, with what I do now, it's not going to happen. But if you're a Warriors fan, if you're a Lakers fan, I know a Rockets fan, if you're trying to go to an NBA playoff game and you want to get tickets, the place that you got to get tickets for is Game Time. Save up to 60% off by buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater. Game Time Picks makes last-minute ticket buying easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium. If that's something you're interested in, then download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS. That way they know that we sent you. All right, we're going to keep it moving here on today's mailbag. Let's go to Miguel Gomez. Mitch, what about Membu and Booker as our first and our second? It's a lot of O-line. I would say that the offensive line there would be Kolton Miller. You're talking about Tyler Booker, JPJ. I would imagine it's Dylan Parham, or, to be honest with you, dude, like, I almost wonder then if they decide to kick DJ Glazen to right guard, they would probably move on from Dylan Parham, and then they put Membu at right tackle. I mean, it's an outstanding offensive line. There's no doubt about it. But we still, though, we would need a running back still. You might be able to get a good value. I think the problem with this plan is we need a free safety. We need a linebacker. We need a nickel corner. We need a running back. I don't know if I said wide receiver yet, but we need a wide receiver. To me, those are 5 more starting positions that we just absolutely positively have to field and do before week 1 of the regular season. Be an amazing offensive line. But I think if they went Membu, I'd be shocked if they went Booker. I'm not going to lie. Let's go to the next one coming in from Patrick Starr. What chance would you give for the Raiders drafting Shedeur? I mean, the number I've been throwing out all week is 5%, so I guess I'll just stick with 5%. I think the other thing that we just got to think about is, like, there is a chance that Shedeur Sanders doesn't get drafted in round 1. Like, I would say there's a better chance Shedeur falls out of round 1 than going in the top 10. And there's been a lot of reports, like, that teams do not like at all what's been going on right now around Shedeur and a lot of his meetings. I mean, there's reports that the Pittsburgh Steelers meeting did not go well. Adam Schefter the other day said he would be surprised if the Saints ended up taking him at number 9. So if you're the Raiders, like, why would you take Shedeur at number 6 when there's a chance he could be there at 37? And if he's there at 37, then I think it's going to be a much more different conversation. My mind, though, is that if he goes in round 1, I would sit up here and say that there's a 5% chance that it ends up happening. So what are the chances that the Raiders draft Shedeur Sanders, scale it from 1 to 10? 1 being it's not going to happen. 10, it's a guarantee to happen. If these are the numbers that I'm looking at, I'm going to say a 1 out of 10 that the Raiders end up drafting Shedeur Sanders. Let's go to the next one coming in here from Frank. What up, Frank? Using measurables, what makes Genty way better than Tutton? Certainly needs to stop fumbling, but I take him late before Genty early. Again, I think the only reason why anybody would look at Tutton as better than Genty is because of a 40 time, and just Genty and Tutton aren't even in the same realm of possibilities. I think we actually answered this one earlier on the live, and I would compare it like this. That's like saying Anthony Richardson's a better athlete than Patrick Mahomes, so he's a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. Just because you run faster doesn't make you better at a position. They're not even close to being the same thing. Let's go to Isaiah Para. My first super chat, I fumbled it. I was wondering your thoughts on the Bleacher Report mock draft of the Raiders trading 6 back for Swift and a 10th to the Bears. I don't want to say Bleacher Report's been falling off, but they've been falling off a little bit. To trade 6 for DeAndre Swift and only to go back to 10, terrible deal for the Raiders, quite frankly. Like, the Chicago Bears have DeAndre Swift, and they want to draft Ashton Genty at 10. What does that tell you about DeAndre Swift? He really struggled last season, and I get it. That offensive line wasn't nearly as good, but I would also want another second-round pick on top of that. Let's go to Robert Jansen. Draft Membu at 6, then Henderson and Watts. How do you get Henderson and Watts? Watts, I don't think falls to round 3. I think you'd have to pick between one of those 2 players. Then find a linebacker, defensive line edge, and a wide receiver in no particular order, the best available, and a quarterback if we must. I would love to know if like a Jalen Knoll does fall to round 3 somewhere in that regard. Maybe I was able to get Carson Swessinger in a mock draft in round 3 the other day. But I think that offensive line, running back is going to be one of the Raiders' first 2 picks. I'll agree with that. Taino, what's up, my man? What's the possibility of trading back to 5 spots to pick up an additional first, second, and still get Genty? I don't think that's going to happen. If you trade back Oh, you're saying 2 to 5 spots. All right, so that's 8 to – you're not going to get an extra first and second in this year's draft. It's a weak draft class, quite frankly, and I think teams know that. I also think teams are really trying to hang on to their first-round pick next year because of the quarterbacks being a little bit better. And there's a chance that Arch Manning is going to be coming out, and that is going to be a popular talking point because think about the Shedeur Sanders hype this year. Wait for the Arch Manning hype next year. It's going to be huge, man. It's going to be huge. What's up, Mike? I know I've been a big supporter of going Genty Higgins, but you did a video taking T-Mac and Henderson. I'd be cool with that. Henderson has grown on me. Gruden approved. That scares me, the fact that he's Gruden approved. I'm not going to go T-Mac for the Raiders at 6. Right now, I would say the earliest, like if the Raiders traded back, you'd have to go into the – I mean, there's a chance T-Mac goes in the 20s, right? Like, that's just way too early for me to take him at 6. I would still want to know, does he love football? Because we have still – my personal opinion, I still yet to hear anything come out of what the comments he made 2 years ago. I do think he's talented, but I want somebody that loves football, that shows me that they want to get better. Tetairoa McMillan, if he's not watching tape, tells me that he's okay being average. And I'm not taking somebody who's okay being average in round 1. Jarek, who is one player the Raiders won't draft at 6 that some people think they could or they would? I'm almost hesitant to say Armin Membu, and I only say that because you guys know that I love Membu. But again, if relationships matter to this regime as much as I think that they do, and as much as I think a lot of y'all think that they do, no top 30 visit, no combine visit, no pro day visit for somebody you're going to draft at 6. Kind of interesting to me there. Shedeur Sanders. I would say Shedeur Sanders is the number one player that gets talked about in Raiders circles that people think that they're going to go with at 6. At this point, I think the most shocking pick that the Raiders can possibly make at 6 is Shedeur Sanders. I mean it. I think it's the most shocking pick that they could do at 6. What up, Emmanuel? Mitch, since we're asking questions, wild one here. If the Eagles said, I'll trade you Saquon for 6, would you? Honestly, no. I wouldn't. And I only say that because if you're going to trade Saquon for 6, just go with Genty. And I'm not saying Genty is going to be as good as Saquon, but he better be. You know, like if you're going to take a running back at number 6 for a team that's not in a Super Bowl window right now, they're not. I love the Raiders. They're not. Teams I think that take running backs in the top 10 are a running back away. The Raiders aren't a running back away. And Genty is going to be a player that people are expecting him to have the type of seasons that Saquon has. Like, I expect Genty to get 1,500 total yards in his first 3 years because that's what the expectation would be. But for what you'd have to pay a guy like Saquon and for what you can get Ashton Genty at, I'm good. I'm not interested in trading for Saquon at pick number 6. I would actually want, if you told me it was pick 6 for Saquon, I would want something else on top of it. Like, I just would. Again, phenomenal running back. If you guys are looking for even more news, rumors, analysis all year long, if you're looking for even more mailbags, make sure you're subscribed, make sure those notifications are turned on, and make sure you pull up for the 2025 NFL Draft. I got to sneeze, so that was a good timing.
Woo!
Texans sign Irv Smith Jr., tight end.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just happened. I saw Schefter put it out.
Interesting.
Happened 6 minutes ago. Free agent tight end Irv Smith Jr. signing back with the Texans. What?
First reply
to that? Yikes. Yikes. We are 5 minutes away from Miller time, and the plan for me is this. We are all done with our segments, and Chuggs and I can hop on out of here. We can keep the live show going. It's going to be totally up to all of y'all. What? Rebel said, Chuggs, make it short. Chuggs has left the building to go make a short, Reb, so don't worry. We got you covered. Thank you, Emmanuel. Richard Engel, you are in the duck race. Also give some shout-outs here. Again, what are the chances the Raiders draft Shedeur Sanders, which maybe I think there's a better chance the Raiders draft Shedeur at 37 than 6. How about that? 6 would just shock me, dude. It really would. It would absolutely shock me. Now, I think the only way that it would happen is if Mark Davis or Tom Brady got involved. If Mark Davis or Tom Brady got involved, that's nice. Then maybe. In some countries, you're not wrong. I got Trizzy Trace here in the building. What? Go make a vid, yeah.
Yo!
Go make a vid. I don't care.
I'm going to be honest. Jeremy totally screwed me here. He farted in the seat before I sat down, and it's lingering. I think it's stuck in the cloth.
Is that onions and ketchup?
I definitely taste ketchup, and the tuxedos are kind of effed up. The tuxedos are kind of messed up now that you think about it.
Rebel wants to know, Trizzy, what's the news on Derek Carr? You could join.
He's
I don't care if it says Chuggs. That's up to you.
He's not the fan favorite right now. I can tell you that much.
Marcus, and I also see Richard Engel, you in $20 Venmo right now to win $190 here on today's show, which is a good amount of money. All right, so here's what just happened. The Houston Texans, they just signed Irv Smith Jr., so Chuggs is going to go quick make a video. Trizzy Trace is going to hang out with us here for a little bit. And if there's one thing that I know Trace is good at, it's putting some drinks down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's Friday happy hour here, Trace. Every 50 is a bang and a bong goes down.
Oh, I love bongs, dude.
And we are 5 likes away.
I love bongs.
From Miller time. So, just saying. I got Trizzy Trace here, which you, like, Chuggs can't hang, I think, with Trace anymore. Chuggs doesn't have the stomach he used to.
You really mean that?
I really mean that.
Aw.
I really, really mean that.
Thanks, man.
Steven Gutierrez, Mitch, would you toss a dude's unwiped salad for $100 million?
I do some pretty crazy things for $100 million.
Yeah, I probably would, dude. Like, I'm not even lying to you. I mean, I would put $50 million in the bank right away, and that $50 million is going to support my family for multiple generations. It's really weird. Don't get me wrong, but quite frankly, I think if anybody in this chat answered no to that question, you know, like
$100 million is $100 million.
I'm not going to get mad if you answer no.
You know,
but I'm also not going to judge you if you said yes.
$100 million is like more commas than I have in my bank account right now. That's like the amount of commas is more than the money I have in my bank account.
$100 million?
It's a lot.
Somebody set it up. You know what I mean?
I've done a lot. Let me just put it this way. I've done a lot less for a lot less.
I've done a lot less. I hope that's untrue. I hope that you haven't done that.
Oh,
that would be wild, man. Rebel, Trizzy, I heard Saints are drafting Diet Dr. Pepper. So
speaking of Diet Dr. Pepper.
Well, that's Rebel knows the whole story.
Oh, he knows about it? Okay. I was going to say, if Rebel doesn't know about the Diet Dr. Pepper incident, he needs to be informed because, I mean, he's in the loop of all the chat sports lore going on. So, like, a real one has to know what's happening.
It's interesting.
It is. You know, and there is a very common denominator in all of this.
Yep.
And I think we all know who it is. But until they decide to man up and admit it, we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. Salvador Vargas, you in. I got you. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Trizzy and I, we're going to hang out for maybe like 5-10 more minutes. If we don't get any more questions, if we don't get any more, you know, super chats, bangs, however you want to call it.
Shout out Ash and Jonte and Chug and Jim.
Chug and Jim, man. What a legend. Gutierrez, can Trizzy beat Chuggs in a boot race? No chance.
What'd you say?
Can you beat Chuggs in a boot race?
Oh, no chance. Let me put it this way. I have a better chance of picking off Kyler Murray again than I do beating Chuggs in a boot race.
And taking it to the house. Speaking
of
taking it to the house, Raider! Run! Hey! What up, Ron? Mount Raider more in the nation. Let's go. Dude, I'll tell you this right now, Ron. Can't wait for the NFL draft next week.
I'm pumped.
Who do you think the Saints go with? Do you think the Saints are going to go Shedeur Orleans now, or is it like after Schefter saying he would be surprised?
I think it's Tyler Warren. I think that's the pick at 9.
Okay.
I think it's
Talk
Tyler
to me.
Warren.
Why?
I would like for it to be Shedeur for obvious reasons, but I also want the Saints and I want Kellen Moore to get his guy. And if he thinks it's Shedeur, perfect. If he thinks it's Jack and Dart, perfect. If he thinks it's Quinn Ewers or Jalen Milroe, fine.
Okay.
But Tyler Warren is an athletic phenomenon. He's a freak of nature. He is a football player through and through. And I think that's what the New Orleans Saints are missing on offense is a playmaker that just raises the overall talent level. So sure. I think the Saints are going to go best player available, whatever that is, and then maybe a quarterback later.
Do you think Derek Carr is the Saints starting quarterback this season?
No. Well, in case you guys didn't know, Carr actually was the one who leaked the information to Rapp about the injury. The team knew about the injury, but when they went to restructure his contract. So to me, that kind of says they knew where they were going, and maybe this was always the plan all along was restructure it and then cut him, or restructure him to get cap compliant, and then cut him post June 1, and then start Spencer Rattler or whoever you draft in the draft this year. It's not pretty, but it's where they're at, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's going to be – dude, I think this year the draft is going to be really interesting. But I also think this, like based on what you just said there, Tyler Warren to me, I don't think that he's going to be as good as Brock Bowers from a receiving standpoint.
No, I don't either.
But Warren is – he might be a better blocker in all honesty. Like he is a football player, and if I could – speak just of what the Raiders did last season. They were like, we're going to take the best football player.
Yeah.
And that's what they did in Bowers. And it obviously worked out great.
100%.
For Tyler Warren, he offers you just so many different things. Blocks. The amount of Big Ten games that he would play in where it's like, you know what? If I get 10 catches today, awesome. If I get 1 catch today, but I get to just knock the socks off of some people, awesome.
Yeah.
He just
likes football.
Yep.
And we need dudes who like football. And I think, and honestly, that's kind of like an interesting thing I want to ask you guys. Like, hear me out, and obviously Pete Carroll may go different route here, but what are your thoughts on like a 2 tight end set of Brock Bowers and Tyler Warren? I mean, that right there for the foreseeable future is just disgusting.
So I said this. I said, if the Raiders went Tyler Warren at 6, the only logical reason to me that they would do that, and sometimes I say like the NFL's a copycat league, or sometimes teams try to get ahead of a curve. I think Brock Bowers is good enough to be a wide receiver. Like he's a good enough catcher of a football where he could be a wide receiver. And because he's just so athletic, you can line him up out as an X. And the Raiders this whole year have been looking for an X. So what happens if it's the Raiders, you're on draft night, and you don't get an opportunity to get a wide receiver? What happens if you draft Tyler Warren, you make him the every down tight end. You let Brock Bowers be your X receiver. Yep. You might still be able to pay him as a tight end. Yep. You let Jakobi Meyers be the other receiver, and then you still have Michael Mayer to be that tight end too. But if you do that, you're telling Bowers you're going to play receiver this season.
Yeah. Well, and like for Brock Bowers, maybe that is like something that's enticing just because for him or his sake, it's like, oh, maybe I can make a receiver money. Like, that's pretty nice.
Sure.
Like, that might be a nice appeal. I don't know. Either way, this feels like the first draft in a few years where it's like, we genuinely don't know where things are going to go the top 5 picks. Like, 1, sure.
I think we know 1, 2, and 3.
You think?
I think it's Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't
know.
know.
I think the draft starts at 4.
So, do you think Hunter or Carter first?
I think Travis Hunter goes to the Browns.
Browns? Okay.
Yep.
I agree with that. So,
and then
Patriots at 4.
Yep, Patriots are at 4. They've been looking for an offensive lineman. Our Patriots
Will
host
Campbell
Allie. Allie's really thinks that they love Will Campbell. The Jags, then, I think that they could go. There was a mock draft the other day that had Genty going to the Jags.
Yeah.
I think Tyler Warren could go to the Jags.
Yeah.
I think Mason Graham could go to the Jags.
Yeah. See, are y'all like offense round one pretty much no matter what, or is it just?
I literally, if somebody were to ask me right now the top 5 picks for the Raiders, and not any particular order, but just the top 5 guys most likely, I'd say it's Ashton Genty. I do think he's got to be in that mix.
Yep.
I do think Will Campbell, Armin Membu, got to be in that mix. I would say, I know they love Jalen Walker, and that might scare some people, but I do know that they love Jalen Walker.
Fair.
If I had to throw another name in there, I don't want to say Will Johnson or Jahdae Barron, but if the Raiders traded back, I would say that Jahdae Barron and Will Johnson might be the most likely situations. Like
I love Jahdae Barron.
Nickel corner is a bigger need for the Raiders than outside corner,
and
that fits Jahdae.
Love Jahdae.
Jahdae's incredible.
And he's not even limited to just being a nickel corner, too. Like, you could put him anywhere if you wanted. Like, I am in love with Jahdae Barron as a prospect.
I hear you. All right, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go take a quick pee. It's going to be Miller time. Every single 50 that we get here, a Miller is going to go down.
Yes.
After that, we're going to answer a few more questions. I would say the plan is right now, the duck race is going to go down in 10 minutes from now. Sound good? I need probably 2.5 minutes. This is going to be a healthy one.
All right, so this question coming in from an absolute utter moron, Josh McDaniels. Saquon or Genty, or Jonte, as Chug and Jim likes to say, if both running backs came out this year. What do you think? Saquon Barkley or Ashton Genty? Type SB or AJ. This is a tough one because both of them are very special football players. Both of them have very special skill sets, and both of them have all of the traits and all the qualities of a perennial bell cow, every down back that will pop off at any moment. I don't know. I might go Ashton Genty here. I think coming out of the league or out of college, he might be more pro ready. But honestly, I could be convinced either way. Like, I could flip a coin and probably be like, yeah, yep. Both of them have a strong case. I see Kiani saying Ashton Genty. Steven says Ashton Genty. Mark saying Saquon. John says Genty because of the better balance. Those are fair. Those are very fair. Rebel Montana says Yoder still owes us a boot. Ron would agree. We'll see what we can do. Trace, the Derek Carr injury is BS and you know it. Come on. I think he's faking the injury. I think that this whole thing is a little bit of a ploy to get out. I think all of this is just a big thing to just get out of New Orleans, which I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to be there either. But, yeah, he's not a popular guy in the great city of New Orleans, Louisiana.
SOB.
That might have been my longest Raider.
I heard it and I was like, man, I thought you were just like screaming Raiders. And then I was like, what's he doing? And then I saw the pink pop up and I was like, oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Raider Ron really getting after Miller time. Ron, I'm just going to crush it in here, I guess.
It says, rip to the great Tuna. He lived for this draft. Let's keep it going for the great Tuna. F. Sam, as always. Chuggs is horrible in picking the Rockets. LFG Nation. Next week, let's show up. Show up, show out. Let's have some fun. Draft week is it's the most fun week of the offseason. Without, in my opinion, at least.
Of the offseason, I agree. Free agency, I could make an argument for, but free agency it's kind of boring this year.
That's why I say the draft every year. The draft is fun. Because whether you like your picks or you don't, there's a lot of crazy things that happen.
The last few years, the Raiders' first round picks, man, have been actually
except for Brock Bowers.
Oh, last year was great.
Oh, yeah.
Legitimately, last year was the very first year where I came out of the first round being like, all right,
Sweet.
we did good.
Oh, wow.
That was awesome. We should try to do that more often. It'd be a lot better if we did.
Be a lot cooler if we did.
It'd be a lot cooler if we did. I mean, that's the truth, though. I mean, think of the amount of first-round busts, which actually a segment that I'm going to do, and it's going to be a game that I'm going to try to get ready by the draft, is I'm going to show y'all when I go back and I look at past videos who I would have taken in the draft, instead of, Cleveland Furl. You'll find out which player I would have taken.
Mm-hmm.
I went back and I looked. Instead of Alex Leatherwood, I went back and I looked at the video. Christian Darrisaw would have been my pick, which I was like, that would have been awesome.
Yep.
Though, I don't know if we would have Max Crosby. I'll be interested to see when I go back and I'll look. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're keeping happy hour going. We're almost done. On today's show, the duck race is going to be here in 8 minutes. So, duck race in 8 minutes. Final chance to get in. $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. So, at 4:30, we're probably going to lock this thing up and get ready to go. Unless y'all want to keep it going. Trade Geno for Derek Carr and AOC for Bo Nix. Which one's crazier? Geno for Carr or Bo Nix for AOC?
Bo Nix for AOC.
Bo Nix for AOC is
Bo Nix
probably
for
crazier.
AOC is definitely the crazier one.
Definitely crazier. Also, what's crazy is Navman! Bang! Navman, just so you know, this is a bang today. We're doing $50 bangs here. That's what Raider Ron wanted. That's what he's getting today, which I got a 90-minute drive. Not me, I don't drive. Alex is driving 90 minutes, but you're 90 minutes in a car after 1, 2. We got a few.
90 minutes in the car with 0 beers is already tough. It's a little bit easier after you've had 8.
We're gonna be peeing.
You do be peeing, Mitchell. At least you'll be hydrated, right? Because you're drinking Happy Dads, a lot of electrolytes in you.
Mm-hmm.
Chug, 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 chug.
It's the best part about Happy Dads.
Oh yeah.
My hangovers, you don't get. Not you. I mean, if you drank,
sort of, but it's not nearly as bad.
It's not the same.
No, and the other part is I love doing
the same.
Let's say college football Saturday, you're drinking all day, watching games. Happy Dads are perfect for that because you can drink them all day long and you won't ever get bloated. You won't ever feel crappy. You'll just keep it moving, and you're hydrated.
Man.
This is a good question from Trevor.
How much say, if any, does Tom Brady have in the war room? I mean, I would imagine he has some say, but at the same time, we got to let John Spytek and Pete Carroll do the job that they were hired to do. I actually don't even know if we read Navman's. We'll go back to Navman's here in a moment. I just hope that it's not I hope Brady don't walk in there, has a phone call and you're taking Shador. I literally think the only way the Raiders take Shador is if Mark Davis and Tom Brady have a say. If Pete Carroll and John, if you told me right now Pete Carroll, John Spytek, no matter what, are making pick 6, there is a 0% chance the Raiders take Shador Sanders. If Tom Brady and Mark Davis get involved because they want the dollar bills, y'all, then I do think that there's a chance for the obvious reasons. But at the same time, I think Pete Carroll, I think John Spytek, I think every football person on the planet values what Tom Brady says. And when he says something, you at least got to take it into consideration. And I think Spytek and Carroll will at least take it into consideration. Let's go to the next one here. Again, from Navman. Let's be clear. I do not want Genty. I got it. But the narrative of him fumbling lost is BS. Look at the stat. 1,030 touches, 0 fumbles lost at Boise. Yeah, I don't really understand. Maybe I actually haven't heard that narrative that he fumbles a lot. Don't really understand. The only knock I've heard against him is he can't catch the football. But he had, again, over 500 receiving yards in 2023.
Yep.
5 receiving touchdowns. He's an unbelievable athlete, and just because he didn't do something last season doesn't mean that he can't do it. What up, McDaniels? Top 5 favorite Raider moments of your
When you
time.
got fired.
I mean, in all honesty, dude, 26-hour live stream. For me personally,
Oh, God, that was
I
insane.
remember that, and I don't remember it at the same time. That was what, you and Rolly, right? The
Yep.
final 2 hours?
I was there last, 4.
Yeah.
Because I came in, Jeremy, I remember calling me, and he was like, dude, I'm literally about to pass out. I need you here. And I was like, I just put on my, sweatpants, shorts, and a hoodie. I was ready to go to bed. And I was like, Maddie, I need you to take me to the office. and then we said
got
closing
to 24 hours, and then we got
We got a big super chat to
and
keep
we
us
went live for another hour, and then we did it again. I mean, it was delusion.
It was ridiculous.
I would say when Josh McDaniels got fired, it's got to be up there. Again, if I'm just going to talk moments from me, I'm also going to just put it in the realm of when I was live doing my thing. The Devontae Adams trade stream was, to this day, one of the most legendary, memorable streams I've ever did. The Kenyon Drake stream is always going to hold a very important spot in my heart because it was one of the very first shows that a lot of people watched, got super, super crazy. Another really...
What about when you licked Cheese Whiz out of my belly button?
I remember that. I have a video to prove that one.
Me too.
I would say when the Raiders, obviously, the Derek Carr timeout when they beat the Chargers to go to the playoffs, that was electric. Probably the other game my dad was here for. He was at the Thanksgiving Raiders-Cowboys game. Raiders beat the Cowboys 35-32 on Thanksgiving. So to be able to go home, rub that in Alex's face, also have my dad a part of it. Right now, off the top of my head, that's got to be up there. I mean, my leg sleeve was insane. Ron dropping a 6K. A lot of sick memories right there, man. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to send Trizzy the list of names for the duck race. Do you know how to put them in? That'll work, yeah. The last name that I saw was Jerry Watson, so Mo Shav, I got you in. Carlos Rodriguez, I got you in. Right now it is a $20 Venmo for a shot to win $240 on today's show. Though I did have Chuggs and me in this race, so keep that in mind.
Okay.
Good luck trying to beat us. I'm going to just send that to TV for you. Get it in there. And we're going to run this thing. This is going to be fun. So after the duck race, I'm going to give you guys one final deal. If you want to keep happy hour going, we can. If not, believe me, it's all good. We've been rocking and rolling already today for over 2.5 hours. The latest that I am possibly able to stay live till 32 more minutes. Okay, that's just the latest that I'm allowed to stay live for. I can't. Nah, I got Alex is picking me up, and we are going out to her family's. Again, Alex's family is actually a very religious family, so Easter weekend is a huge deal for them. And not that my family's not religious. I mean, we grew up in a Christian household, but not nearly as I would say maybe strict, maybe as what Alex's family is. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just Easter weekend for them is really important.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to she's picking me up at 5:15. I already had the conversation, the talk today. Mm-hmm. So
happy wife, happy life, Mitchell.
I get it, man.
Are you cool if we go something different than ducks?
Oh yeah, I'd rather you pick something.
Okay, I was gonna say in honor of 60 seconds, by the way, right?
Yep.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
You pick.
I'll show you what we're doing. I hope it works, but it's in honor of a movie that has recently come out.
All I don't want is snails because the snail
snails.
race is the worst.
It's not the snails. I can promise you that.
All right. Okay.
Well,
actually, this one's
how much is the winner getting?
Winner gets $240. I'm gonna refresh one more time. I'll say this though, Chuggs isn't here, so Chuggs isn't gonna win. If Chuggs ends up winning this,
I get it, right?
I mean,
I don't see Chuggs here to claim his prize.
How about this? If me or Chuggs win, we're just gonna add that total to. We're going to add that total to the duck race on Thursday right from the jump for the NFL draft.
I like that.
Cool.
I like that.
If Chuggs and I win, we're just going to add the 240 to the total right on top of the NFL draft. So that way we start that duck race off with 240.
So you're telling me on Thursday we could potentially walk in and have a $240 pot starting the stream?
Yep.
Wow.
Let's get it going.
All right.
Can you just refresh one time for me? That way they're mixed up a little bit. Love it. Absolutely love it.
All right.
That looks like Chuggs. 3, 2, 1. Let's rock.
I got Captain America.
Let's rock today. LA Crash
There's a
Dog.
minion.
I'll tell you this. Actually, LA Crash Dog is looking good. Jerry Watson, I got it. Soulja Man up there at the top. I'm looking for, Nav Man actually looks like Nav
Don't
Man.
sleep on the alien, Patrick Roche.
Patrick Roche, Darth Fatass there in an interesting spot. Ron. Who's that? Roche. Oh, my God.
Dude, the alien. The claw.
I was going to say, what's that from? Yeah.
You got Perry the Platypus, too. And Bowser. Dude, this was awesome.
This is legit. Chuggs is running the good race. I don't
Chuggs
see
is
me
This is
at
the fastest
all.
I've ever seen Chuggs run.
Oh, man. Richard Kelly, flat tire. Nabman, flat tire.
No.
14 seconds to go.
Spider-Man.
Come on.
OC Raider.
Patrick Roche is. Who's this? Who's this?
Phillip.
Phillip Bogert from the back.
Marcus.
This
Jose.
is close. It's going to be Phillip Bogert. Just stunting on him. Who came in last place? I'm going to be honest. I didn't see me. Oh, all right, 15th. All right. Crash Dog.
You almost would have had
Long.
to send yourself a butthole pick.
Oh, Nabman gets the butthole pick. Congratulations, Nabman. You're the real winner today. Can you go back up top? Right, yeah, Bogert. Phillip Bogert.
Look at that dance, Phillip. I do my little dancey dance.
I was going to say, where's our rigged guy? Here's the thing. There's not many people. Anthony Green, Phillip Bogert right now might be our top 2 racers of all time.
Wait, who'd you say? Phillip Bogert and who?
Anthony Green. They race probably the most.
Sick.
Of all time.
Sick.
Of all time. Rigged. It's rigged. Oh, man. All right, y'all. Here's going to be my final deal of the day. And if we don't get it, it's all good. You're not going to offend me. It's just I'm also doing my job. I'm also just being honest with y'all if there are people that still, want to keep this going. Hashtag Raiders Super Chat. Get those questions going. Every single 50 that we get, we will extend the show by 5 minutes. If we don't get anything here in the next 60 seconds, we're going to hop on out of here. It's all good. You're not going to offend me. Today's already been a unbelievable show. I can't wait for Easter. I can't wait to be able to get into the NFL draft next week. Friday happy hour is...
Do you want a last call?
It's been interesting. Last call?
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, I would say it's last call right now.
How long?
Rebel said 69 seconds, Mitch. You got it.
How long do you want it?
60
69
seconds.
69 seconds?
69 seconds for Rebel Montana. Let's do that. 69 seconds for Rebel Montana. If every 50 we get, it counts as a bang today. I said that we would do $50 bangs for my man Raider Ron. Shout out to you, my brother. I love that it's actually a minute 9.
Yep.
Here we go. As soon as that bad boy starts. So if we don't get anything else, it's all good. Again, you're not going to upset me. But if you want the show to continue, we need another bang to keep Raiders Friday happy hour going. If not, the next time that I'm going to see the nation is going to be on Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. If anything happens tomorrow, honestly, even if anything happens tonight, tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday, I'll be back in town Sunday night. So if anything happens Saturday or Sunday, I will be at Alex's family. So just, keep that in mind for me, please. Like a huge breaking news story, I would end up going live from the house, which would kind of be funny. Not my house, their house. We'd get wild. Don't worry about it. I see Roche's. I hope anybody else takes Sanders just so we don't. Sanders ain't going to go before. I said this earlier. There's a better chance Sanders goes to the Raiders at 37 than Sanders goes to the Raiders at 6.
I 100% agree there.
Yep, and I agree. Rick Kelly, can't do 50, but 10 is better than nothing. Love you, boys. Rick, appreciate you, man, for always watching the show. And it's not it's all good, right? Like, I don't need people to do it every time, but at the same time, think about this show a lot of times is like, you're paying your bartender, you're giving us a tip, and it is how we provide for our families to be able to watch this show. Now, we don't keep any of the super chats, any of the Venmos. That goes back into the pool to be able to get you guys more content and be able to create more fun videos and create more jobs here at Chat Sports. So, all right, y'all. Nothing else legendary show. Raider Ron, thank you so much for being the MVP today. Thank you to everybody. Patrick Roche, everyone. Navman, had a lot of fun today. I really mean it. Really mean it. Shout out to Trizzy for also stepping up, being able to take over for Jeremy Chuggs. The next time you guys are going to see me is going to be Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. Have a great Easter. Enjoy the weekend. Be ready to go for the NFL Draft next week. We will be live probably about 21 hours from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we're going to have thousands and thousands of people tuning in. I can't wait for it to happen. I just hope that this Raiders draft is as good as what last year's was. Peace out.